Halifax Forum, are you ready to rumble? Welcome live to the Marcel Bedard Arena in Beauport, Quebec for Game 7 of this Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Series between the Beauport Harfangs and your Halifax Mooseheads. I'm Chris Strickey and I'm bringing you the play-by-play commentary of today's game. Joining me with the color commentary is the head scout of the Halifax Mooseheads, Donnie Matheson. Don, welcome to Beauport.
Yes, sir, Chris, and the atmosphere in this building is everything you'd expect for a Game 7 in what has been a very exciting, close series between these two hockey clubs. The atmosphere is electric. The small arena is sold right out. The crowd is waiting with anticipation. The teams are going to be on the ice in a few moments, and we're ready for Game 7 at the Marcel Bedard.
A lot of interest in this series, Don. Like you said, the crowd here is a sold-out, standing room only crowd. All kinds of NHL scouts here to see some great young players in action. As a matter of fact, we talked earlier today at our hotel to Alexander Daigle, the star with the Ottawa Senators, and he's in attendance watching tonight's game as well. Don, this is the classic battle between a David and Goliath.
No question about it, Chris. The Beauport Harfangs, all season long rated as one of the top 10 clubs in Major Junior Hockey in Canada. Our Halifax Mooseheads, an expansion club, has played this team tough throughout the regular season, and certainly in this 6 games of this playoff series so far. All games, of course, very close, bringing us to this one tonight. The team is ready. It was interesting as the team bus left the hotel this evening. The fan bus was just pulling in, and very loud and a very large contingent of fans from home are here tonight. We're estimating numbers about 200 Haligonians and other people from Nova Scotia here this evening. Down at the far end in the bullpen in this Beauport arena, we've got a very loud contingent of Moosehead fans, and they're very excited about tonight's game.
No question, this place is jam-packed with Moosehead fans, and in the pregame skate they were louder than the Beauport fans, and they're here to cheer on their Mooseheads, as are you people live with us back in Halifax at the venerable Halifax Forum. Of course, the season record between these two teams, Donnie, 3 wins for each team and 2 ties, but overall in the regular season, Beauport with an outstanding 39, 24, and 5 record for 87 points, second overall in the Quebec Major Junior League, and the top defensive record of all Canadian junior hockey teams. Halifax 24, 42, and 6 for 52 points. But Don, you can take those and throw them out the window. This is one game for all the marbles.
All those season games don't mean a thing, Chris. This is playoff hockey. It's a new season, and this is the 7th and deciding game in this series. Referee Luc Lachapelle will call the game tonight, and Chris, that's a good thing because Mr. Lachapelle is generally regarded as the best official in the Quebec Junior League. Our fans will remember him. He's already done game 4 in our series, does a fine job. Normally, he's not a factor in the game. He calls a pretty good hockey game, keeps it under control. So I would suggest that our hockey club is happy to see Luc Lachapelle as a referee this evening.
They certainly are, Don. The big question here at the Marcel Bedard Arena prior to the game was whether or not Beauport's top defenseman, Christian Laflamme, will play. Have you heard anything on that?
Well, it's interesting, Chris, in the pregame warm-up, both Derek Walser and Christian Laflamme dressed, and that's a sign that they're not sure if Laflamme can go tonight. If he can't, I'm sure we'll see Pictou County native Derek Walser in their lineup, a fine young 16-year-old defenseman with the Harfangs this season. Scratches for the Moosehead tonight. Elias Abrahamson still recovering from a bruised kidney. David Carson, who's been suffering with had an asthma attack recently and is just not feeling 100% and is unable to go this evening. He also will not be dressed. And Dan Villeneuve, the very capable, steady defenseman who suffered a concussion in Thursday evening's game at the Metro Center, will be the third Moosehead not dressed tonight. So Abrahamson, Carson, and Villeneuve not in the lineup, but Eric Hood and Mongrain are back, of course.
Here you get a look at the Mooseheads who are ready to take the ice here at the Marcel Bedard Arena, and they'll be led onto the ice by one of the top junior hockey goaltenders in Canada, Jean-Sébastien Giguère. In this year's playoffs, only 13 goals against in 6 games, a 2.17 goals against average, an amazing 94.3 save percentage. What more can you say, Don, about Jean-Sébastien Giguère?
Giguère's done it all. He's one of the top-ranked goaltenders for this year's National League draft, and he's shown everyone why in this playoff series in particular. The Nova Scotia fans here this evening giving the team a fine reception as they come on the ice to get ready for game number 7 between the Mooseheads and the Harfangs at the Marcel Bedard.
Changes, of course, for Halifax with those lineup scratches that you mentioned. The top line will stay the same. Etienne Drapeau, nursing a knee injury, will center Stéphane Larocque and Brant Blackned. The ever-steady defensive unit of Nicolas Mahou, Rocco Anoya, and Jody Shelley will remain together, as will the line of Eric Hood, Danielle Payette, and Steve Mongrain, who have played very well in this series. The fourth line tonight will be all Nova Scotians: Chris Cahoon at center, Chris Andioni at left wing, and Derek Pike at right wing. And at this time, we'll take a break for our national anthem. Before we get to the national anthem, Don, with Christian Laflamme unsure for tonight's game, Beauport only had 11 forwards out for the pregame skate. Their top line is Eric Montre, Jean-Yves Leroux, and Eric Dazé, who's been outstanding in the series. Their second line, Vincent Tremblay at center with Ian McIntyre and Jimmy Provencheur. Excuse me, their third line, Marc Spinard center, Louis Bedard at right wing, and Patrick Cote at left wing. And they had two forwards on the fourth line, Nova Scotia's Donald McLean and Eric Belanger, who's had a very good series for the Harfangs.
McIntyre, Tremblay, and Provencher will start for the Harfangs up front. That's the line that started just about every game in this series. And as you mentioned, Christian Laflamme is out and will start this game in his right defensive position with Emmanuel Lebranche on the left side.
We'll take a break now for our national anthem. Stand up at the Halifax Forum. We're almost ready to go. Don, the first period has been Halifax Mooseheads' best period all season long in the playoffs as well. How important is scoring the first goal?
Well, if we could get the first goal tonight, Chris, it would certainly be a big one. It would give us some early momentum in the game. The way these games have gone, low-scoring games, the first goal could be a big one. But we can't forget, as Clem reminded the guys before the game, we're coming in here to have fun and play our best for 60 minutes. So the first goal can be important, but we've got a 60-minute game, and the teams are just about ready to go at it as Nicolas Mahou takes his position opposite Tremblay for Vincent Tremblay for the Harfangs. Mahou and Tremblay step up to referee Luc LaChapelle for the opening draw.
Here we go, live at the Marcel Bedard Arena in Beauport. Off the opening face-off, Moo wins the draw to Mario Dumoulin. He dumps it behind Beauport goaltender Martin Berrand. Berrand leaves it there for Lebranche. Puck at the sideboards where Laflamme flicks it up and moves it ahead to Vincent Tremblay. Mario Dumoulin regroups in his own end. Off the sideboards, it bounces off Shelley and goes to Mongrain. Here comes Tremblay leading a Beauport rush right into the Halifax zone. Quick shot, and John Sebastian Giguère rears the door on that one.
Well, Giguère got his first save early, Chris, as Vincent Tremblay, the little center on this big line, stepped in over the line, took a wrist shot, and after the shot, Luc LaChapelle calling the first penalty or penalties of the game. We've got a roughing call against Mario Dumoulin of the Mooseheads. Here we go. Here's Tremblay. Here you see the shot. Giguère playing it well, covers up, makes the save, and the penalty occurred, Chris, right after the save by Giguère. So the Mooseheads shorthanded early in the game at the 22-second mark, ready to kill up the first power play of the game, which will go to the Harfangs.
Discipline, of course, the key for the Mooseheads here, Don. They can't afford to go to the penalty box too often against the talented power play for the Harfangs. Daze, quick shot, saves Giguère. Loose puck and the whistle goes.
One thing we saw there, Chris, is that the Harfangs, as they have done throughout the series, they're crowding the net. They want to give Giguère some trouble, and LaChapelle calls another penalty. And it's another roughing call to Patrick Cote, the most physical player of the Harfangs throughout this series. That evens things up at 4 skaters aside, and the face-off will come outside the Mooseheads blue line.
So Luc LaChapelle showing that he's going to keep things under control here in Beauport with 2 early roughing penalties. We'll go to 4-on-4, Don. That'll create some open ice. Halifax sends out Etienne Drapeau and Brent Blackned, 2 of their top 5 regular scorers during the regular season. The faceoff's won by Montrain, and it goes to Etienne at the point. Giguère stops it behind his net, but he has Daze charging. Sideboard for Blackned. Blackned ahead to Drapeau. Drapeau pass just out of the reach of Payton, and Medor has control, cross ice to Etienne. Etienne back to Medor. The Beauport captain once again to Martin Etienne. 20-year-old Stéphane Medor ahead now to Montre. 2-on-3 rush into the Halifax zone. Dumps the puck in the corner. Giguère with control. Giguère comes back to the left side. Stumped again behind Giguère, and he controls it again. This time pass ahead to Brant Blackned. Blackned with Drapeau. Pass off the boards to Drapeau. Tied up by Etienne. Martin Etienne with control of the puck for the Harfangs. Bank pass to Eric Montre. Montre spins. Halifax on a line change. Montre cuts to the sideboards, and Beauport is going to get another penalty.
We've got a hooking call coming up on Etienne, the Beauport defenseman. Martin Etienne hauled down the Moosehead forward at his own blue line as the play was in transition. Here in the replay, you can see the Moosehead player attempting to go at Montre was hauled down. One thing the Harfangs do a lot of, Chris, is they run a lot of little picks and a lot of interference all over the ice. And that's what the defender, Etienne, was trying to do there. But he got a little too much hook involved, and LaChapelle sent him to the box. Chris, this is a critical situation because not only do the Mooseheads have a power play, but they've got lots of ice to work with as we have a 4-on-3 situation for a little over a minute. So we've got lots of ice for the Mooseheads to work with, and we have Mahu and Hood, Mahu and Larac up front.
4-on-3 situations ever dangerous in any game. Halifax, of course, struggling on the power play in the series, but they did score a power play goal, their second goal of Game 6. They did a lot of work in the power play, and we'll see if it pays off as Blackned goes ahead to Nick Mahu. He gains his own. Sideboards, he battles away with LaFlamme. Medor picks it up, tries to clear the puck, but it'll be kept in there by Chris Payton. Payton to Larac. Now it's picked up by Mahu. Payton with the puck, sideboards, Larac in the slot. Mahu bangs over the stick of LaFlamme. Point to Blackned. Blackned cross ice to Payton. All kinds of time to shoot. He does. Loose puck. Mahu just bounced over his stick as he had an empty net, and that'll give Johnny Leroux a chance to clear it down the ice for the Harfangs. A good scoring opportunity there for the Mooseheads, Don.
Mahu almost had a real good chance there. Puck just sliding off his stick as he went across the front of the crease with Martin Biron.
We're about 9 seconds away from the Moosehead player returning. We'll go 5-on-3 for 5 seconds, and then we'll go back to 5-on-4. Halifax's top power play performer, Mario Dumoulin, is now out of the box, and the Mooseheads are on a 5-on-4 power play. Drapeau, fans on the puck. Beauport attempts to clear it as Brant Blackned falls. McIntyre ahead to Belanger. Belanger 1-on-1, cuts wide on Dumoulin. Dumoulin hauls him down. No call on the play. Belanger for McIntyre. Sideboards for McIntyre. Bangs away for the puck. And it clears the Halifax zone, but it's controlled there by Tremblay. Tremblay wasting some precious time on the Halifax power play, dumps it in behind Giguère. Giguère forced to play it around the sideboards. Forced to make a big save as it's controlled now by Monterey. Halifax having trouble on this power play, gaining possession of the puck in their own end. And the whistle goes to force the face-off deep in the Halifax end. Some good penalty killing there done by the Beauport Harfangs.
One of the top, actually the top defensive hockey club in the Canadian Hockey League this season. They play a strong defensive game, Chris. And what's interesting in the battle between Giguère and Biron is that both these young goaltenders have a lot in common. One of the things they have in common is their ability to handle the puck. When the puck is dumped in, they almost act as a third defenseman. And Jean-Sebastien, you'll notice a lot of times, will feel the puck thrown into the Moosehead zone and either make a pass or clear the puck very well.
Jamie Brown with control behind Giguère out for his first shift of the game. Ahead to Daniel Payette. His pass is picked off by Tremblay, and he drives again into the Halifax zone where he's drilled by Jamie Brown. Payette with control. Passes through the middle. Eric Hood just bounced out of his reach, picked up by Theriault. Brown with control, tried to give it to Payette. Payette has it now in some open ice. Loses control of the puck, but Berube is out there for Halifax. Here come the Harfang, 2-on-2. Louis Bedard down the wing, shot. Giguère with the save. Loose puck, Leroux bangs at it. Nice save, Giguère. Puck is covered up and the whistle goes. Jean-Sebastien Giguère here to play tonight, Don. 2 big saves on that sequence.
One of the Harfangs' best forwards, Jean-Yves Leroux, the Chicago Blackhawks draft choice, was right on the doorstep looking for a rebound, and Giguère come up with it. As the replay shows us, Leroux was right on the step, and Jean-Sebastien Giguère freezes up and forces the face-off to his right, deep in the Moosehead zone. 16-18 remaining in the first period as we approach the 4-minute mark of play in this first period in game number 7.
Nick Mahou out to take the face-off against Marc Swinard. Mahou wins it to the sideboards. Berube battles away and drills Swinard to the ice. Mahou around the sideboards for Rocco Anoya, kept in nicely by Daze. Daze to Cote. Puck at the sideboards where Payton throws it to the point, but Laflemme keeps it in. And it takes a bounce and clears into the Beauport end. Don, we're seeing something that will happen a lot tonight. Beauport is double shifting Eric Daze. Dumoulin, shot, rebound. Tremblay and Cote, 2-on-1. Tremblay on a breakaway. Payton catches up to him. His backhand is wide, and Halifax will go to the penalty box again. Beauport with control. And as Nick Moo touches that puck, we'll have a hooking call against the Mooseheads, and that'll give Beauport their first power play of the game.
Chris Payton reaches out and provides the hook to slow down, as we see in the replay. Vincent Tremblay getting in on a partial break. Chris puts the hook on him, and La Chapelle flags the penalty. The Harfangs will go to the power play again with Montreuil starting at center ice, along with Cote and Daze on the wings.
We were mentioning earlier, Don, that Eric Daze will play a lot for the Harfangs. He's undoubtedly their best player.
He's one of the top junior hockey players in the country, Chris, evidenced by his participation with the World Championship Junior Club this year. And Coach Joe Canali will double shift him. Daze will see a lot of ice time tonight.
An all-star at the World Junior Championships this year, where he led all scorers with goals, 8 goals. Good chance for the Harfangs. Monterey backhand, save Giguère. Loose puck, it's behind him. And the whistle goes. Jean-Sebastien Giguère done with a good save, and the puck was just lying there.
That puck was just lying there, Chris, but the Harfangs couldn't get their sticks on it. Here we have the replay. You can see the Harfang forward throwing it across. Giguère moves with them, and there's Daze banging away, and there's big Patrick Cote, but his stick is tied up, and he can't get the stick on the puck. And Jean-Sebastien covers up, and referee Luc Lachapelle blows the play dead. Face-off coming up to the left of Jean-Sebastien Giguère. Moosehead short-handed with the Harfangs on the power play.
Good play there by Aubrey's defenseman Sebastien Berube to bang that puck out of harm's way, and the puck comes to Berube, and this time he clears it all the way down the ice, where Biron will set it for Yannick Tremblay. Tremblay with 1 goal and 2 assists in the playoffs thus far for Beauport, been one of their better players. Skates to center, has some open ice, gains the line, stops at the sideboards and waits for an option to the point to Laflemme. Laflemme shot, save Giguère, rebound Daze, hit the post! And it's cleared down the ice by Rocco Anoya. So Beauport with a few good chances here early, but John Sebastian Giguere holding his ground and getting some help from his goalpost on that shot. Scramble for the puck at the sideboards. Good job by the Halifax penalty killers, and the whistle goes.
Close call on the power play there, Chris, as again it's Big Eric Daze with a chance, just throwing the puck off the post. The play originated with a shot from the point by Christian Laflamme that got through. Giguere made the save, Daze pouncing on the rebound, and here we have the replay. You can see Daze in front of the goal. There's the initial save. He gets a stick on it and bing, right off the post. Puck comes out in front and is sent down the ice.
Here's Beauport with control again. Blacknet almost strict Tremblay of the puck. Donald McLean, Edford, Nova Scotia zone, dumps the puck into the Halifax zone. Giguere tried to clear it down the ice. It hit a Beauport player, but Blacknet will bang it out to center with the other Nova Scotian on the Harfangs. Walser gets it ahead to Tremblay. Tremblay cross ice to McLean. McLean to LaRue. LaRue with time. Blacknet right on top of him, and it goes right to Bay-Roubaix. Sebastien Bay-Roubaix to the point where it's kept in by Walser, right on the stick of Jamie Brown, and he clears it down the ice with 25 seconds remaining in the Harfang power play. Tremblay still out there for the Harfangs. Throws it to center. Nice play by Jamie Brown to break up that rush. But Donald McLean gets hauled down. Here comes Beauport, 2-on-1. Walser shot. Saved by Giguere. And the whistle goes, and the Halifax Mooseheads will be going to the penalty box again as Beauport had a 2-on-1 break, and that forced the Mooseheads to take a penalty.
You see the play originally. Here comes Donald McLean through the neutral zone, and Blacknet gets the stick out and hauls him down, and another hooking call by La Chapelle will put the Mooseheads down 2 players for a period of 13 seconds. There's 13 seconds remaining, the initial Moosehead penalty, and then we'll still have a shorthanded situation for 1:47 as Brant Blacknet serves his. Roubaix and Dumoulin, no surprise, on the ice as the defensive pair for the Mooseheads, and Nicholas Mahu, one of the best all-round centers in this league, comes out to take the draw.
Beauport only 5 for 43 in the power play in this series thus far, and a credit to the Halifax penalty killers. But you can't give them too many opportunities here in their home arena as Montre and Mahu are set to face off. Montre gets the draw, but the puck is left there, and Mahu does a great job of busting free of Montre, and he'll drive her down the ice, and that'll all but waste off the first Halifax minor penalty to Peyton. And we're back to 5-on-4 as Laflamme carries to center and dumps again behind Giguere. Giguere with control, and Giguere clears it down the ice himself. Don, you talked earlier about his excellent puck handling skills.
He's one of the best. He does that as well as anybody, and for a 17-year-old goaltender, that's a great skill that he has, and that's invaluable, especially in the shorthanded situations.
McIntyre sideboards, gets by Dumoulin. Dumoulin catches up with him and drills him into the boards. McIntyre to his knees, still with control of the puck. Finally gets it to an open Montre. Montre to the point to Walser. Shot, save Giguere, and he covers that one up as well.
Harfangs tonight, Chris, especially in the power plays we've seen so far in the first period, like to originate the shot from the point. They've got a number of big forwards on their power play. They want to get some traffic in front of Giguere, and they want to get that shot from the point into the traffic so Giguere doesn't get a good look at it. Very similar situation to what the Mooseheads will try when we get a chance with Biron at the other end.
Donald McLean set to face off here against Moose, playing a lot for the Mooseheads tonight. Daze now playing the point on the power play. Tremblay with control. Tremblay skates behind Giguere. Peyton bangs away with him. Puck's at the sideboards, and it comes to Etier. Etier to Tremblay. Peyton pounces on a loose puck but can't backhand it out. Larocque has control, and he fires it down the ice. Less than a minute left in the minor penalty to Brant Blacknet. Biron leaves it for Etier. Martin Etier with control. Skates to his own blue line. Looks for a pass. He doesn't have one, so he goes to center. Dumps it in. Picked up there by Cote. Dumped in on goal. Quick shot. Daze, and another save by John Sebastian Giguere. Halifax form give John Sebastian Giguere a cheer. He's playing well here tonight for the Mooseheads. 42
seconds remaining in the Beauport power play. Blacknet off for hooking. 42 seconds remaining. Out again comes Nicholas Mahu. And Chris, that last sequence of plays, we saw what Mahu does so very well. Mooseheads down 2 players. He wins the face-off, controls the puck, and ices it in a great single-handed effort, and gave Chris Peyton's penalty time to expire. So now we're down 5-4 for the next 45 seconds.
It's at the point where it's picked up by Tremblay. Tremblay goes sideboards. That's Walser. Cross ice to LaRue. He can't pull the trigger. Provencher behind the net, battling with Bay. Tremblay in to help out. Provencher tried to go across the LaRue, broken up nicely by Jamie Brown. Off the stick of Stefan Larocque, and down the ice it goes. Nick Mahou was Halifax's best skater in Game 6 of the series, the second star behind goalie John-Sebastian Giguère. LaRue with control, gains the Halifax zone, sideboards. LaRue tried to center it through, he does, and Provencher's shot goes wide off a Beauport stick, and the faceoff will come outside with only 9 seconds now remaining in the minor penalty to Brant Blackned.
There's the guy of the hour so far, Jean-Sebastian Giguère, as we talk a lot about Daze, but this guy here, Jean-Yves Leroux, centers the puck, and Leroux next to Daze is probably their most prolific forward, and he too will see a lot of ice time tonight. Interesting, Chris, that young Derek Walser from Pictou County didn't dress for a lot of the games in the series. I think he dressed for one previous to this, but one of his forts is his offensive ability, and you'll see him playing the power play for the Harfangs, I'm sure, a lot tonight. Very skilled offensive defenseman.
Sebastian Roubaix clears it down ice. Medora with control. We're back to even strength. Medora head to Tremblay. Back to 5-on-5, right by Blackned. Mongrain in to help out. Brown now with control. His pass goes ahead to Eric Wood. Wood tries to elude Stefan Medora. Now throws it through the center. LaRue fans on it. Hood with control. But ahead to Payette. It goes off his skate. Bounces going the Beauport way early in this game. Theriault with control. Pass goes off Provencher. And it's broken up nicely by Jamie Brown. Payette bangs away with it. And Provencher comes up with the puck again for Beauport. Here they come. 2-on-3 into the Halifax zone, led by Jimmy Provencher. Jamie Brown holds his ground nicely. His pass ahead to Mongrain. Mongrain. Backhand pass. Picked up by LeBranch and back to Mongrain. Mongrain drives into the Beauport zone and just backhands it ahead. Collides heavily with Laflamme. Belanger with control. Head McIntyre streaking down the wing and didn't see him. Centers it. McIntyre on his knees. Payton has Belanger tied up. Belanger comes out with the puck. Tried to center to McIntyre, broken up by Brown, right to Belanger, breakaway, shot, and a huge glove save by Jean-Sebastian Giguère.
There's another big one by the guy who makes these things seem ordinary lately. A turnover deep in the zone, and here you see 18 Belanger with a great chance from point-blank range, and Giguère hauls it out of the air. Makes a great save early in the first period. We're about the halfway point, 10:52. remaining to be played in the first period of play here at the Marcel Bédard in game number 7.
Well, that save brought the 200-plus Halifax fans in attendance here to their feet, and I'm sure it brought you to your feet at the Halifax Forum as well. Stefan Larocque, Eric Belanger on the face-off, won by Belanger. Etier, wide open shot, Medora, another save by Giguère. Belanger with control, Halverson out for his first shift, bangs away with Ian McIntyre. Bedard in, he drills Halverson from behind, there's no penalty on that play. McIntyre, a chance to skate to center, weak backhander through, kicked out of harm's way by Drapeau. Bedard with control, Bedard cuts to center, tied up there by Halifax. And the Mooseheads are going to get another penalty, this time to Etienne Drapeau.
Mr. LaChapelle has fondness for the hooking calls tonight. Excuse me again, Chris. Here you see Drapeau trying to impede the progress of the Beauport forward and gets a stick in, and the referee decides that it was a little too much. And Louis Bedard, he felt, didn't have the pass he should have had, and he whistles Drapeau for hooking.
So on the penalty kill for our Mooseheads, we'll see Mahou and Anoy up front with Roubaix and Dumoulin on defense. You mentioned earlier, Don, Halifax missing defenseman Danielle Villeneuve, and they'll be calling on their key defenseman to come up big here tonight. Sebastian Roubaix has been very steady thus far, and that's one player that will have to step up for the Mooseheads.
Well, Danny Villeneuve, one note, Chris, he's not dressed, but he is an inspiration. He's right beside Sean McKenzie and Clem Jodouin behind the Mooseheads bench tonight, standing with the team in civvies, and I'm sure the players will appreciate having Dan Villeneuve, their steady rear guard, on the bench with them anyway tonight.
Heart and soul player for the Halifax Mooseheads. Montre with the puck at the sideboards. He eludes Anoya and eludes Mahou and gets it ahead to Patrick Cote, the big left winger who'll go to the front of the net on the power play with his imposing 6'3", 215-pound frame. Mahou ahead to Dumoulin. Dumoulin couldn't corral a pass. Rocco Anoya up on the rush. Backhander shot just over the reach of Martin Biron. And it went off the mesh, and that'll force a face-off outside of the Beauport zone. 9:49 left to play here in period 1 at the Marcel Bedard Arena. We are scoreless.
Good hustle there, Chris, by Rocco Anoya. before the game tonight, Rocco says, this is what I live for. This is the biggest game of the year for me. And he was very relaxed and looking very much forward to this game tonight, as were all the players seem to be in excellent spirits before the game, quite relaxed. And I think their play thus far in the first period has indicated that.
Jody Shelley off the faceoff, out there now with Blacknet on the Halifax penalty kill. Tremblay, pass out of the reach of Provencher. Dumoulin, full control of the puck, sends it back behind Biron again. Biron leaves it for Walser. Walser stops and waits for an option. Through the middle to Provencher, off his skate. He has Swinard in full speed. Swinard down the wing, cuts by Payton. Backhander, and he drives over the net, knocks the nets off its moorings, and that'll force another face-off. You saw there on your screen, we'll have intermission guests in both the first and second period here tonight. During the first period, Don Matheson will be talking with Dan Villeneuve and the man who chiefly responsible for bringing the Halifax Mooseheads to us in Halifax, Harold McKay, the vice president of Moosehead Brewery.
There's a number of fine young hockey players playing in this game tonight, Chris. There's probably 4 kids, 17 years of age, who will probably go in the first 2 rounds in the National Hockey League draft. Jean-Sebastien Giguère is certainly one of them with our Mooseheads, and the guy ready to take the face-off for the Harfangs now, big Eric Chouinard, number 64, the big right-handed center, who along with Donald McLean and Christian Laflemme and Martin Biron will all be early picks in this year's National League entry draft.
Dangerous pass by Giguère, kept in by Beauport. Leroux with the puck at the sideboards. To the point to Swinard, to the point to Tremblay, to the sideboards to Swinard, and he goes down low for Leroux. Leroux with control of the puck, cuts the center, strides up ice to Tremblay. Tremblay back to Leroux, broken up nicely by Anoya. Anoya to Mahou. Mahou wisely dumps it down the ice, and he looks for a line change, as does Anoya. Halifax counters with Blacknet and Shelley. Jamie Brown now out there with Sebastian Béroubet on defense. Derek Walser skates the center. He's going to gain the line, winds up the big shot, and a big pad save by Giguère. Brown tries to bang it down ice, kept in nicely by Beauport. Tremblay with a chance, shot over the net, bounced right in front of Giguère, but Béroubet bangs it out of harm's way. Here comes Blacknet, 2-on-1 with Jody Shelley, down the wing, Blacknet, shot! And a big glove save by Martin Biron, as Halifax has its best scoring opportunity of the game thus far.
While short-handed, the Harfangs get caught with a bad player change. Blacknet pounces on the puck. His eyes are as big as saucers. He looked up and saw one D-back. Jody Shelley breaking for the net like he should. And here comes a big shot. And Biron with a good glove save off one of the hardest shots in this league, coming from Brent Blacknet from the left side of the ice as he breaks down with Jody Shelley. And Chris, when we talk about Jody Shelley, the Yarmouth native has played a big role in this series, playing his best hockey of the year in this playoff series, and he's seen a lot of ice tonight.
Certainly an inspiration for all you young hockey fans watching tonight's game at the Halifax Forum. For young hockey fans everywhere, he's done a lot, not through a lot of talent, but through a lot of heart and soul. And he puts everything he has into every game he plays, as Etienne Drapeau is out of the penalty box, and we're back to even strength here at the Marcel Bedard Arena. Vincent Tremblay tried to bump it in. Now he does. Broken up nicely by Drapeau, just out of the box. LaRock sideboards for Blacknet. Blacknet has Etienne on him, gives it to Drapeau. Tried to dump it in, but McIntyre had control. Throws it blindly through the neutral zone where it's picked up by Brown. Brown off the sideboards to LaRock. LaRock bangs it in where Medor is forced to regroup for the Harfangs. Medor and Etienne out there. As Drapeau falls into goaltender Biron, there'll be a penalty on the play. We're not sure to who yet, Don, but it could go to Beauport. Drapeau was pushed into the Harfang net.
It's definitely a Beauport penalty, Chris. I'm pretty sure of that. Drapeau was in close to the crease, and if you go near Biron, one thing you can be sure of is that one of those defensemen are going to come after you and make sure that you don't go near their goaltender, because he's a real key for that hockey club. And referee Luc LaChapelle has indicated a penalty. Etienne questioning the call, talking to LaChapelle now. He indicates the face-off will be inside. We still don't have any of the Beauport players going to the box, and now we do, as we see Louis Bedard, number 27, going to the box as he's the penalized Harfang. 7:59 remaining to be played in the first period. Mooseheads will go to a power play. Etienne Drapeau with Stéphane Larocque and Brent Blacknet on his wings will be joined by Mario Dumoulin. Actually, Dumoulin and Blacknet will man the points, and Jody Shelley will be up front with Larocque and Drapeau, and I'm sure, Chris, we're going to see Jody Shelley in front of Mr. Biron right off that crease, and there he goes.
Good chance for the Mooseheads. Dumoulin to Larocque at the sideboards. Larocque back up high to Dumoulin. Dumoulin, quick shot on goal, hits a couple sticks, loose puck there, goes to the sideboards. Larocque is the first player on it. He loses it to Belanger. Etier with control, drives it around the sideboards, should be kept in by Blackned, it is. Blackned to Larocque. Larocque, cross ice to the post, shot! And it went off a stick and over the glass. Good chance there for the Mooseheads.
Real good chance, Chris. Stéphane Larocque, who sees the ice well, made a very nice pass to Etienne Drapeau, and Drapeau let it go quickly, and it ended up in the stands. The Mooseheads, here we see the replay as the puck slides across the ice. You can see Jody Shelley parked right in front of goaltender Biron, and when Clem puts him out on the power play, that's his job, to get in his face, not allow Biron to see the puck, and he's a big guy, 6'3", Jody Shelley, providing some interference in front of the net on the power play.
Beauport wins the face-off. They'll have a good chance to clear the puck here as LaRue's backhander goes right to Larocque, but it bounces off his glove and through to the neutral zone. Halifax will be forced to set up their power play again. Over a minute remaining on that power play. Quick shot by Larocque, and this time he doesn't score from center ice on Biron. He has done that earlier in the series. Halifax will be looking to get some shots on young Martin Biron here in this power play. See how he reacts to the pressure of a Game 7. Bedard is serving a minor penalty to Biron, who took liberty to Drapeau, skating in his crease area. Blackned still out on the ice for the Mooseheads, ahead to Drapeau. Same power play unit for Halifax. Dumoulin, nice back pass, but it's picked up there by LeBranch and dumped back into the Halifax zone where Giguère leaves it for Dumoulin. Under a minute left in the Halifax power play as they change their power play unit. Larocque through to Rocco Anoia, partial breakaway, but that's ruled offside. Some pushing and shoving behind the play. Anoia turns. Halifax has been turning the other cheek all series long, Don, and it's no time not to do so here tonight.
That's a key, of course, Chris, to success in any playoff series, especially that you have to play disciplined hockey. Goaltending and special teams will quite often decide a playoff series. And in this series, the goaltenders for both clubs have played major roles, as have the special teams. And the Mooseheads, of course, will be turning the other cheek, maintaining their discipline this evening. Although we've had several penalties in the early going, the team has played well. The special teams, the penalty-killing units have looked good, and those special teams will play a big role in tonight's game.
Mailloux and Tremblay off the face-off, sideboards. Now it's picked up by Mailloux. Mailloux gains the Beauport zone, but offside is the call again. And we'll try that face-off one more time now with 43 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Biron, which is being served by Louis Bedard.
Rocco Anoia on the right side, just a little anxious to get in the offensive zone, and preceded Nicholas Mahu over the blue line. Play whistled offside, and with 43 seconds remaining, Mooseheads line up just outside the Beauport blue line.
Puck is at the center of the ice, picked up by team MVP Mario Dumoulin. He gains his own for Halifax. Quick snapshot, and a save by Biron. Rocco Anoia with control at the sideboard, centers it. Broken up by Tremblay. It goes off a skate, and Montre and Dumoulin race for the puck. Dumoulin and Montre. Montre still with control. Dumoulin ties him up. 1-on-3 in the Halifax zone, and Montre falls on the puck to force a face-off.
Well, as you mentioned, Chris, Mario Dumoulin, the team MVP this year, and a well-deserved award indeed. He'll log a lot of ice time in Game 7 tonight. The leading defender on this expansion Moosehead Hockey Club, and here he goes one-on-one with Eric Montre, and he's not giving Montre any room whatsoever to get around him, and Montre falls in the puck. The face-off comes outside the Mooseheads blue line.
Hood wins the face-off to Berube, and Berube goes cross-ice to Payton. Payton goes through the middle again to Hood. Hood dumps it in. It's picked up by Mongrain, who had the first goal of the series, or the first goal of Game 6 in this series. It's dumped down the ice, and that'll all but eliminate the minor penalty to Beauport. Giguère will leave it there for Berube. Sebastian Berube with control for Halifax. Cross-ice to Payton. Payton ahead to Payette. Payette held up by Daze. Belanger now with control. Skates away from Hood. Puts it right on the stick of Berube ahead to Mongrain. Hood on a loose puck. Almost got it ahead to Daniel Payette, but here come the Harfang the other way. Belanger to Daze with full speed. Back to Belanger. Tried to go back to Daze. Broken up nicely by Berube. Payette's hit, but Mongrain pounces on a loose puck. One-on-one with Tremblay. Ahead to Hood. Payton up on the rush. Wisely dumps it into the Beauport end. Halifax goes for full-scale line changes. Joel Theriault, already with 80 penalty minutes in this series thus far. Ahead to Daze. Daze through center. Tied up nicely there by Sebastian Berube. And of course the Mooseheads can't give Daze room to skate, Don. Drapeau into the Halifax zone. 2-on-1 with Blacknet. Cuts to the slot. Shot. And it hit a skate and went wide. McIntyre with control. Good offensive chance there for the Mooseheads. Here come the Harfangs the other way, as McIntyre and Sweenard are offside. Another good chance there done for the Halifax Mooseheads. Etienne Drapeau shot just went wide of goaltender Biron.
Etienne was actually looking for a passing lane to get the puck to Blacknet. No passing lane available. He wisely held onto the puck, moved across the front of the net, across the face of the slot area. Here you see him. He's trying to look for Blacknet, but the lane is not open, so he just throws the puck at the net. It hits Sweenard's stick and goes to the corner.
Etienne Drapeau, the 6'1", 180-pound native of Quebec City, the first player chosen in this year's Quebec Major Junior Hockey League entry draft, wins the faceoff back to Brown, to Dumoulin, back to Brown. Sackville's Jamie Brown, ahead to Larocque, broken up nicely by McIntyre, right on the skate of Brown. Brown to the sideboards where Larocque and Theriault give chase. It's dumped back in the Halifax zone where Dumoulin, who's double shifting and triple shifting for the Mooseheads, is forced to regroup the Halifax attack. Skates out to the right of goalie John Sebastian Giguère and gets it ahead to Drapeau. Drapeau nicely ahead to Larocque. 2-on-2 for the Mooseheads, led by Blacknet. Blacknet, quick snapshot. Pad save and a nice rebound, but it's picked up by the Beauport Harfangs. Here they come 3-on-2. McIntyre to Sweenard. Sweenard cuts to the sideboards to McIntyre, back to Sweenard. Quick shot. Giguère with a blocker save. McIntyre still with control, tied up nicely by Jamie Brown. Sweenard in to help out, as is Dumoulin. Puck is still on the sideboards. Now it's taken out by Sweenard. Sweenard slides it behind the net to McIntyre, centered but broken up by Dumoulin. Provencher now on the other side of the ice to LeBranche. LeBranche dumps it back in. Halifax having trouble on this shift. Brown looking for a face-off. Drapeau in to help out. Gains control of the puck, throws it right on the stick of Tremblay. Larocque battles with him. McIntyre with a good chance, backhander. Misses by 5 feet. And we're going to have a penalty on this play, Don. Once again, I believe, to the Halifax Mooseheads.
Looks like a roughing call coming up, and I think it's, again, it's going to be Drapeau. Etienne Drapeau with his second minor of the game. The replay shows you the traffic in front of Giguère again. Somewhere in that jam, Etienne Drapeau managed to take a shot at somebody that the referee saw and has flagged, and Drapeau goes off for roughing with 3:48 remaining to be played in the first period. The Beauport Harfangs will go to the power play, and no surprise, we've got Montre, Cote, and Daze up front on this power play. Once again, you see the workhorse, Nicolas Mahu, ready to take the draw against Eric Montre.
And once again, he wins that faceoff. Rocco Anoia fails to clear, and Daze with a good chance. Pass down low to Montre, and Giguère covers up.
You mentioned that once again he won the faceoff, Chris, and that's going to be a critical element in tonight's game. A lot of little things are very important, and while winning faceoffs can't be classed as a little thing, it's going to play a big role, especially when we're shorthanded and your team is in your own end of the rink. The faceoffs are critical.
Interesting play there, Daze had a good chance to shoot that puck, and he chose to pass. He has a good shot, and Halifax probably lucky that he didn't wind up from the top of the slot. Same place he hit the crossbar from in 2-1 win for Halifax in Game 4 of the series. Nick Moe wasting some valuable time on the minor penalty to Drapeau. He dumps it behind Biron, and there's Daze back for the puck. Ridden out of the play by Anoia. He leaves it for Laflemme. Christian Laflemme up ice to Tremblay. Tremblay gains the Halifax zone. Nice pass cross ice to Daze. Scores! On a 2-on-1, Eric Daze, an outstanding play to bang that puck past goalie John Sebastian Giguère.
Well, we've got a power play goal for the Beauport Harfangs, Chris. Big Eric Daze breaks for the net as he should on the far left side. Here you see the pass. It's going to come right across the slot, right on to Daze's stick. And Giguère comes across, but not quick enough. Daze deposits the puck in the left corner behind Giguère to give the Harfangs a 1-0 lead. At the 16:50 mark of the first period, a power play goal by Eric Daze puts the Harfangs in front 1-0, the first goal of the game.
Eric Daze, his fourth goal of the playoff from Yannick Tremblay, gives Beauport a 1-0 lead, Don, and we've been harping on the fact that Halifax has to stay out of the penalty box. was bound to hurt them eventually, and it just did there. But they head right back up ice, and we'll head back there with them as they counter here with the line of Hood, Mongrain, and Payette.
Well, Chris, the special teams, we can't say it enough. They're going to play a big part in Game 7, and the Harfangs, the Mooseheads did a real good job killing the earlier 3 minor penalties they had, and that time a great pass to Daze, and when he gets the puck that far from the goal with that kind of an opportunity, he knows what to do with it.
Face-off won by Belanger, goes to the point to Etier. Etier with control. Etier skates and dumps it right on the stick of Halverson. He dumps it back into the Beauport zone where it's played by Biron, and icing will actually be the call. Turn it up at the Halifax Forum. Let's draw our Mooseheads even. Still 2:51 to play here in the first period, and now Beauport still Ontario. We mentioned earlier already 80 penalty minutes in this series, and a fan favorite at the Halifax Metro Center. Will be going to the penalty box for roughing. Don, a great chance for Halifax to draw even before this first period comes to a close.
Well, we've got 2:51 left in the first period. Mooseheads now go to the power play, and Drapeau, Larocque, and Blackned will come out up front. Mario Dumoulin and Chris Payton will man the points. Payton coming over the wall now, lining up on the backside with Dumoulin. Drapeau will take the draw. Blackned will be on the left side, Stéphane Larocque on the right side.
Off the face-off, the puck goes to the sideboards to Mario Dumoulin, who led all Halifax players in power play scoring this year with 14 goals and 33 assists. 47 of his 75 points this year coming on the power play. Etier clears the puck right on to Dumoulin. It goes to Payton. Payton at center ice with control. Chris Payton skates in his own end and now gets it to Larocque. Larocque, nice pass ahead to Blackned. Blackned, nice feed to Drapeau. Drapeau gains the Beauport zone. Stops and goes cross ice to Dumoulin. Dumoulin keeps it in nicely. To Larocque, back to Dumoulin. Good puck movement by the Mooseheads. Backhanded on goal. Larocque, shot, and it hits a stick, and that allowed the Harfangs to break out 3-on-2 shorthanded. Etier with control. Wisely skates the center and dumps the puck back into the Halifax zone, forcing Halifax to regroup. Our Mooseheads have had some good shots here tonight. A lot of those shots going off some sticks and skates of the Harfangs, and one of those is bound to break through to the net as Stéphane Larocque has control. He stripped to the puck by Tremblay. Here come the Harfangs 2-on-1. Tremblay and McIntyre. McIntyre just wide of the net. Halifax has to be conscious. Quick shot there by Tremblay. Anoya now with control. Anoya eludes Tremblay nicely and passes by McIntyre, but there's no one on this side of the ice for Halifax. It's dumped right back in and once again picked up by Rocco Anoya. Anoya ahead to Mayoux. Mayoux gains the Halifax zone. Ahead to Larocque. Quick shot and once again it hits the stick and bounces up over Martin Biron.
We've got 38 seconds remaining in the Beauport power play. 1:28 remaining in the period. Both clubs going for a line change. Jody Shelley with Nicholas Mahu and Rocco Anoya coming over for the Mooseheads. Payton and Berube, Payton and Dumoulin will again be on the points. And again, 38 seconds remaining in this Moosehead power play.
Off the face-off, puck is kept in by Dumoulin, shot, and once again it hits the skate, this time Montreuil's skate. And that'll allow Daze to clear it down ice. So Halifax getting some good scoring opportunities, but all those shots seem to be going off Beauport Harfangs here tonight thus far. Puck picked up there by Rocco Anoya. Anoya ahead to Mayoux, broken up by LaBranche, kept in by Payton. LaBranche with control, throws it on the stick of Dumoulin. Only 10 seconds left in the minor penalty to Theriault. Daze on a breakaway, cuts in on Drapeau, scores. Tough break for the Halifax Mooseheads there, Don, is two Mooseheads ready to each other.
You really got to feel for Mario Dumoulin and Chris Payton, the workhorses to that Moosehead defense. Unfortunate collision, and you see the puck coughed up, and Eric Daze again. He makes no mistake on the breakaway, putting the Harfangs up 2-0. Daze, the whole story of this first period as far as the Harfangs are concerned, an unfortunate collision at the blue line between Payton and Dumoulin created the loose puck, and Daze jumped on it and made no mistake on the breakaway. With 58 seconds remaining in the first period, a shorthanded goal makes it 2-0 for the Harfangs.
So unassisted Eric Daze with his 5th goal of the playoffs, and less than a minute to play in the first period. Here come the Mooseheads back up ice. Payette with control. Payette ahead to Berube up on the rush with Mongrain. Pass to Mongrain, and that's ruled offside. John Sebastian Giguere having a great first period and really no chance on either the Beauport goals, a 2-on-1 break or the quick snapshot on the breakaway.
When you got Eric Daze coming one-on-one, Chris, he's a goal scorer. He sees the whole net. Not much of a chance for Giguere, as you have said. He's made a number of good stops in this period and is playing well.
Eric Hood, the 5'11", 184-pound native of Montreal, Quebec, out to take this face-off for the Mooseheads. Wins it to Berube. Berube right on the stick of Payette. Payette dumps it in. Mongrain first one on the puck. Centers it for Brown. Shot! And it hit a skate. Brown still with control. Shoots again. Biron didn't see it, but it went to the sideboards. Good chance there for Jamie Brown, who's having a good period here tonight for the Mooseheads. Mongrain drills Bernard into the sideboards. And the whistle goes.
That play originated with some great hustle by Steve Mongrain. Charged into the corner in the Beauport end. Got possession of the puck. Jamie Brown thinking all the time. Here you see Mongrain going in, making the hit at the end of that play. Jamie Brown jumping down from his blue line position, anticipating the puck coming from Mongrain. Had a good chance at the Beauport goaltender Biron.
Hood and Tremblay to take this important face-off deep in the Beauport end. Tremblay tossed out of the face-off, so McIntyre will come in for this Beauport face-off. Hood and McIntyre wins the draw. Mongrain is picked there, and Provencher comes up with the puck for the Harfangs. Here come the Harfangs, 3-on-2. 10 seconds left to play in the period. Provencher with control, cuts wide, goes off the stick of Dumoulin up over the glass. That'll stop play with less than 10 seconds left to play here in period 1.
We have 9 seconds remaining, Chris. Face-off is going to be to the left of Giguere. Daniel Payette exchanging some pleasantries with, I think it's Martin Etche, the New York Ranger draft choice, number 21 on the Beauport defense. Nicholas Mahu will be out to take this draw for the Mooseheads. To the left of Giguere with 9 seconds remaining in period number 1.
Halifax has been even with Beauport for the most part in the first period here tonight. Scoreless right up until about 3.5 minutes left to play in the first period. The Beauport has popped 2 quick goals, and so the Mooseheads will have to play from behind here tonight in Beauport as Rocco Anoya has the puck at the sideboards. Scramble for the puck. And time winds off the clock to wind down the first period. And after 1 period of play here, down at the Marcel Bedard Arena, the Beauport Harfangs lead the Halifax Mooseheads 2-0.
Just some words being exchanged between Mador and Shelley as the teams exit La Chapelle, indicating to both clubs that they can leave the ice surface. Beauport leaving with a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes. Still 40 minutes of hockey to be played here in Beauport in game number 7 this evening.
And so we'll go to a quick break. Stay tuned at the Halifax Forum and turn up the volume. We'll be right back with Don Matheson interviewing Dan Villeneuve and Harold McKay.
We're here at the end of the first period in a 2-0 Harfang lead, and with me, someone who would much rather be in this dressing room diagonally across the hallway from us, very steady Moosehead defenseman Dan Villeneuve. Dan, first of all, a little update as to your physical status and what the injury is.
Well, I'm out for this playoff, and I'm gonna know on Monday. I'm gonna go see a doctor, and he's gonna tell me if I can play the next playoff.
You know, it's tough, Dan, watching tonight, but you've got one of the best seats in the house.
Yeah, I'm behind the bench. Before the trip, I asked Clem and Sean if I can go behind the bench, stay with the guys. So he said yes. I'm I'm proud to be behind the bench, not in the stands.
That's going to be a lot of help, Dan, for the guys tonight. I know they'd be very happy to have you there. Dan, Game 6, Thursday evening, phenomenal occurrence in Halifax. What was it like to be part of it?
It's awesome. I just like you know, I just see one period because I've been knocked out on second period, but the fans are great. Thanks a lot to all the people that came to the rink, and that's just awesome.
That game was probably a culmination of the great fan support all year, Dan. It's your first season, as it is for all the players in Halifax. Just a comment about your year.
Well, our year, it's perfect. Like I was saying, the fans are great. The organization are super. You can ask for any better, and the teammates. We play like a team, and not like a club, but like a team, and it's super.
There's great camaraderie among the guys in the team, Dan. There's still 2 periods of hockey left. What do we got to do?
Well, we just got to skate a little more and shoot on the net. They got 18 shots, and I think we just had 6 shots. So we got to shoot a little bit on the net and skate them, and we're going to be there.
Well, Dan, I know the guys are going to come out and play 2 more great periods. Best of luck to you in the healing process, and we'll see you in the next series.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Dan. As Dan leaves us, we're going to bring in just a moment the Vice President of Moosehead Breweries and the President of the Hockey Club, Harold McKay. Come on over here, Harold. Right over here. I guess if there's one individual from Halifax who is responsible for this hockey club being here tonight, it's the gentleman here with me now, Harold McKay, the president of the Halifax Mooseheads. Harold, 11 months ago, we didn't have a player. We had just gotten the franchise. You were successful in getting the team admitted to the Quebec Junior League. Some reflections about the past 11 months.
I think it's just been an incredible journey for everybody, and when you do think back to 11 months ago when we didn't have anybody, but we certainly had the thoughts and ideas in our head, but I don't think in our wildest imagination did we ever think that we'd draw the kind of fan support that we've had in Halifax. I think we've said goodbye to the naysayers about our city being a non-hockey town. They're behind this team. The team is here as far as it is because of the fans in Halifax, and they'll be the first to tell you that, so it's absolutely a fabulous feeling.
Thursday evening at the Halifax Metro Center, something unprecedented in hockey in Halifax took place. 10,000 people went into the Metro Center to watch the Mooseheads defeat the Harfangs in Game 6, 2-0. You've got to have a comment about Game 6.
Oh, Game 6 was the highlight probably of this whole project from the beginning. Funny, when we were up here the last time, we had hoped that, we said when we went back home, we lost the game 3-0, the boys played well. When we got back home, we said if we draw over $8,000, we'd be, just totally ecstatic about the whole thing. And when we got home and saw the crowd that we had, the players will tell you it was they were the 7th and 8th player on the team. They made the difference.
And they have all year, Harold. This evening in Beauport, we've got a couple of hundred people up. They've come in cars. They've come by bus. They've come by plane. We've got parents, billets, and just generally good fans here.
Yeah, we're down a couple of goals here. The people that have come here. It's really hard to describe the feeling to see these people that have come here and with all kinds of modes of transportation to get here to come and support this hockey club. And I think it's something that can give our team the spark to carry us through the next 2 periods, and hopefully we can tie this game up and get ahead of the goal and win it and take it home.
Well, let's hope that happens, Harold. Just before you leave us, Moncton will come into the league next year as the second Maritime entry. Could I have a comment about that?
I think the Moncton addition to the Maritime or to the whole Quebec League will be a very welcome addition to everybody. It's going to again highlight local talent. I mean, you look at our team, the number of Maritimers that have made this team that probably maybe never have had the chance. And with Moncton in there, we're going to create a great rivalry with them. I think they're going to have a very successful team, and unfortunately, they'll never be able to duplicate what we did, but they'll be there, and it's going to be just a fantastic addition to the whole league setup.
The whole situation with the Halifax Mooseheads in this inaugural season has been success and a great success for all the people in Halifax. And we've got a lot of people at the Halifax Forum tonight, Harold, who've gone there to watch this closed circuit broadcast, to watch the game live. A comment for them.
Oh, I'd listen. You're all wonderful fans, and to have you there supporting us like this, let me tell you, the fans or the players have been informed that you're there helping us out, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting the club.
Thank you, Harold. Harold McKay, the president of the Halifax Mooseheads and the vice president of Moosehead Breweries. We'll turn you back to control now for a few moments, and we'll be back with Chris Trickey.
Halifax Forum, welcome back to the Marcel Bedard Arena for the second period. Today, Game 7 of this Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Series between the Beauport Harfangs and the Halifax Mooseheads. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up at the Halifax Forum. There's still 40 minutes of hockey here to play in Beauport. They've traveled on by planes, trains, and automobiles to get here tonight. They're loud and they're still with our Mooseheads.
No question, Chris, among the best fans in the country. As Dan Villeneuve and Harold McKay both pointed out in the first intermission, our fans have been nothing but spectacular. And for those people at the Halifax Forum tonight, the players wanted me to say thank you for coming out to watch the game, and they're going to do it for you. A big effort. The next two periods is going to be needed. As Dan Villeneuve said, Chris, we've got to get some more shots on Biron, get some traffic in front of that goaltender, but we do have to penetrate the Harfang zone more than we did in the first period if we're going to score tonight.
There you get a look at John Sebastian Giguère, 17 saves in the first period here tonight alone. A lot of shots coming on numerous Beauport power plays. And Halifax will be looking to score the first goal here in period 2 to bring themselves back to life for the first time here in tonight's game. Don, we're going to get a look at Chris Angione and Derek Pike, as well as Chris Cahoon, the Nova Scotia line for our Mooseheads.
3 Nova Scotia kids together on the fourth line this evening. Cahoon will center the line. Angione with the speed on the left side, Pike on the right side, and Clem has decided to start them as we begin period number 2 from Beauport. Mooseheads trailing 2-0. Tremblay goes to center to face off with Chris Cahoon.
Off the face-off, Cahoon wins the draw. Jamie Brown dumps it up ice. Derek Pike right on top. It's shot, and he didn't miss by much. Kept in nicely by Brown. Puck behind the net. Now broken up there by Yannick Tremblay. Angione pokes away with him. Provencher comes up with it. Broken up there by Berube. Giguère back to play it. And now Angione with control. Angione hit hard, and Provencher comes up with the puck. Dump behind the net where Berube bangs away and bangs Tremblay to the ice. Mooseheads coming up with some body here in period 2. McIntyre with control, cross ice to Provencher, shot, scored!
Well, there's going to be some concern expressed about that goal by certainly Chris Cahoon. He was tripped coming out of the corner. He looked at the referee. LaChapelle elected not to call anything. You can see Stéphane Larocque is now going over to have a word with Mr. LaChapelle. Cahoon was carrying the puck, was hauled down, and the puck was turned over, but no call on the play. And Jimmy Provencher, as we see in the replay, number 22, Provencher, just inside the post past Giguère to put the Harfangs up 3-0.
Don, that non-call certainly hurts the Mooseheads. That gave Beauport a great scoring chance, and they made no mistake on that scoring opportunity, but Halifax will have to hold their heads high.
You know, you get the referee will let the hook or the trip go once in a while, but when it's in the zone right there and it causes a turnover and creates a scoring chance, it becomes a critical issue.
Payton back pass to Shelley. Shelley's hit by LeBranch. Bedard and Laflamme. Bedard with control. His pass goes off the skate of Anoya, picked up by Laflamme. Christian Laflamme gains his zone for Beauport, drops it to Belanger. Shot, and it's broken up by Shelley. Mailloux with control now for the Mooseheads. Kept in by Belanger. Belanger tried to center to Bedard, broken up there by Mailloux. Mailloux comes up with the puck behind the net for Halifax. Mailloux ahead to Anoya. Anoya now to Shelley. 2-on-1 break for the Mooseheads, but a puck bounces out of Jody Shelley's reach. Back pass picked up there by LeBranch, and Anoya's offside.
Chris, good official like LaChapelle certainly doesn't, in most cases, let the crowd get to him, but I'm willing to bet that the Harfangs will draw the next penalty in this game.
Should be a good bet. He knows he made a mistake there, Don, but it was a crucial mistake, and it allowed Beauport to score. Jimmy Provencher making no mistake on that shot. Don, he's one of 5 NHL draft picks on the Beauport Harfangs.
Provencher, of course, the New Jersey Devils draft selection. He joins, as you say, 4 others. Eric Montre from Florida. Martanti, a Rangers draft pick. And 2 Chicago Blackhawks choices. Jean-Yves Leroux and Big Eric Daze. Perhaps their 2 best forwards are both the property of the Chicago Blackhawks.
And Daze, who has the first 2 goals in tonight's game for the Beauport Harfangs, has already signed a contract with the Chicago Blackhawks. He'll be going to play pro as soon as his season ends here in Beauport. Hopefully that season will end tonight. Dumoulin drives it in, forcing Biron to play the puck. The Mooseheads will be looking to get some much-needed shots on goaltender Martin Biron. Medor, his pass out of the reach of Leroux. Driven back in by Payton. Biron leaves it for Stefan Medor. Rims it around the sideboards. Larocque bangs away with Leroux. Kept in nicely by Payton. Larocque with control. Centered. Just out of the reach of Drapeau. It's cleared down ice. And icing will be the call, giving us a face-off deep in the Beauport zone.
Little skirmish behind the play is Jean-Yves Leroux. And a Moosehead player, and then in comes Medor. And he knocks down the Moosehead player, Stefan Medor. Knocks down Larocque, who is a favorite target of the opposition. No calls, of course, on the play. Face-off coming up to the left of Martin Biron. Moosehead send out Eric Hood at center. Steve Mongrain will be on the right side, and young Daniel Payette on the left. Mario Dumoulin and Chris Payton will man the blue line. We're just about 2 minutes into period number 2. Harfangs leading 3-0, but there's still 38 minutes of hockey to be played. A lot of hockey yet.
Off the face-off, McIntyre with control for the Harfangs ahead to Provencher. And Don Matheson, you were dead right. The Harfangs do indeed draw the first penalty of period number 2.
No question. You could see it coming. You wouldn't have to be an Einstein to figure it out. I think this guy's an excellent official, but I think he really blew that call, not making a call on Cahoon's trip, which resulted directly into Provencher getting the scoring chance that put the Harfangs up 3-0. And I think Luke was going to look pretty closely, Chris, at the play to see what he could do to the Harfangs. He is an excellent official, however, and that's simply my opinion.
Well, Don, I certainly wasn't implying that you're Einstein, but you were dead on with that penalty call, and Halifax will send out the power play unit of Nicolas Mahou, Rocco Inoya, and Stefan Larocque as they change their unit a little bit to try and get something going here in Beauport. Vincent Tremblay, Harfangs' top penalty killer, won that face-off. Halifax now with control. Mahou drives into the Beauport zone. Cross ice to Inoya, leaves it for Payton. His slap shot goes off the heel of his stick and into the corner. Puck is thrown up ice. Larocque was drilled into the boards. No penalty call. Giguère, as you can see in your monitor, playing the puck ahead. Off the stick of Tremblay. Dangerous play picked up there by Mahou. Mahou reverses the puck for Payton. Payton with control back to Dumoulin. Dumoulin loses control of the puck. It goes to Medor. Medor throws it right in the stick of Payton. Payton ahead to Rocco Inoya. Inoya to center. Dumps it deep into the Beauport zone. Medor hooked down by Larocque. We're going to get a penalty call on that play as well, Don.
We're going to go up to a two-man advantage. Oh, it's a call on Larocque. And I think he picked up an extra 2, Chris. He did. He took 2 for hooking and 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Referee Luc LaChapelle maybe a bit out of character with that call. He normally is a little reluctant to tack the extra 2 on, but he did indeed give Stefan Larocque 4 minutes of penalties. So the teams will play with 4 skaters each for 1 minute and 15 seconds. And then the Harfangs will have a power play for 2 minutes and 45 seconds with Larocque picking up the double minor.
Well, Halifax's opportunity, Don, will have to come here 4-on-4 with lots of skating open ice, because then they're going to have to kill off, as you said, about 2.5 minutes and the double minor to Larocque. Stefan Larocque, 342 penalty minutes to lead Halifax this season. Brant Blackton with control of the puck for the Mooseheads. Blackton right on the stick of Sweenard, a giveaway shot, and he missed. LeBranch with control. Sideboards, centers through to Sweenard, quick shot, Giguère with the save. Berube covers up and comes out of the corner with the puck. His pass is out of the reach of Drapeau, and it's drilled back in by Emmanuel LeBranch, where Giguère leaves it for Jamie Brown. Brown with control for the Mooseheads. Pass ahead to Blackned. Blackned leads a 3-on-3 Moosehead rush. Blackned ahead to center. Sideboards for Drapeau, but Medor's right on top of that. And here go Beauport on another breakaway. Jean-Yves Leroux. Brown back on him. Leroux with Sweenard. Leroux cuts to the backhand. Tied up nicely by Brown. Leroux falls to the ice. And Medor misses the puck. Drapeau full speed ahead, but Mador bangs it out of harm's way. Ahead to Berube, down the slot, cuts wide, cuts into the Beauport zone, and it's banged out of harm's way again by the Harfangs. Here come the Harfangs 2-on-1. Provencher, great play by Chris Payton. Montre with the puck. Sideboard, tried to center it, just missed the net, and Tremblay has control. Hood with the puck. Now to Payton. Payton back to Hood. Halifax is now short-handed. Loose puck behind the goal, picked up by defenseman Tremblay. Pass to Provencher, rebound, and Cote scores.
Power play goal, Chris, but the critical issue here is that Stéphane Larocque will remain in the box because he had 2:33 to serve. You can see the play developing behind the net. It's Yannick Tremblay out to Jimmy Provencher. He misses, but big Patrick Cote is right on the lip of the crease. Backhands it up against Jean-Sébastien Giguère. Put the Harfangs up 4-0 with 16 minutes left. And Patrick Cote, certainly not out of character, a little hot dogging going on, but that's what we would expect from him. We've seen it all series and nothing's changed with respect to his play and his antics. Stéphane Larocque's penalty still up on the board. The Mooseheads trail 4-0, still have 2 minutes to kill as a result of the double minor that was assessed to Larocque.
Patrick Cote's third goal of the playoffs. They've all come on the power play. Big, strong player in front of the net, Don, and Halifax had some trouble there for about 30 seconds, got running around in their own end, and finally shorthanded, it hurt them.
Well, I can tell you this, Chris, this is a very talented Beauport team, and they are firing on all cylinders tonight. Their forwards are doing their job deep in that Moosehead zone. They're forcing some turnovers with a lot of pressure. Their forwards are big physical forwards, and when they get the chance to score, when they get the opportunities, they're on the puck very quickly.
My guess as to what's happening here, there's a delay over by the penalty box area. Larocque got in a shooting match with one of the minor on-ice officials working the time for Beauport, and I'm guessing they're going to be asked to leave, and they're going to change timekeepers here for Beauport. So this would be a first, certainly, Don, kicking one of the timekeepers out of the game.
Well, Stéphane, as usual in Beauport, is in the middle of a lot of attention. The fans here certainly give him a lot of attention, and maybe some of the minor officials give him a little too much attention. You can see Luc Lachapelle at the penalty box talking with the minor officials.
Well, certainly they're supposed to be neutral.
Very emotionally charged crowd here tonight. To our right, occupying the stands behind Jean-Sébastien right now, is the area where we have a large contingent of the Moosehead faithful who have come here this evening. While the game is 4-0, 16 minutes do remain in the second period. We've still got 36 minutes of hockey to play. We haven't seen a lot yet from the Mooseheads offensively, but we have not yet reached the halfway point in this game. There's a shot of David Carson, not dressed for this evening's game.
So the Mooseheads are short-handed still for a full 2 minutes, and they'll try not to fall behind here by 5. Cote with the puck at the sideboards. He dumps it behind the Moosehead goal where it's played by Giguère. Giguère backhands it ahead, and Mailloux is on that puck, and it's drilled down the ice by Chris Payton, forcing Eric Daze to regroup the Harfang attack. Daze cuts between his own defender and Rocco Anoya, and he skates all the way to center. He has a full head of steam, and he can go. Daze, quick shot, Giguère the save. And an extra whack at Patrick Cote, who came in late on goaltender Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
Well, Jigger's a little frustrated, and I don't blame him. He's played his heart out the whole series, continues to do so tonight. But Patrick Cote is almost taking up residency in his crease. And he comes in, and you can see that Giguère is saying, I've seen enough of you, and I don't want you near me any longer. Cote has really gotten under the skin of Giguère and some other players. He's been a thorn in the side of Giguère all evening, parked around that crease constantly.
Tremblay with control at the point, quick shot. Giguère makes a save, rebound, sideboards for Sweenard. Sweenard with the puck, sets up at the sideboards and goes to the point to Derek Walser, cross ice to Tremblay. Blacknet bangs away with him, and Leroux has the puck, and we're starting once again where we were just about 5 seconds ago with Sweenard at the sideboards. This time Leroux, once again to Walser. Walser waits, Off the boards to LaRue and into Tremblay. Up on the rush. Quick shot. Broken up nicely by Payton and cleared down ice by Blackned. Biron. Across the sideboards to Tremblay. LaRue winds it up through the neutral zone. Jody Shelley giving chase. LaRue one-on-one with Brown. He has Brown beat, but he's in too deep. Centers it. Broken up by Berube. Brown bangs away with Provencher. Now Swinard with control of the puck for the Harfangs. Back to the point to Tremblay. Cross ice to Walser. Walser just throws it on goal. Jaguar the save. Swinard a shot. Jaguar another save. Swinard with control of Walser. Winds it up. Blocked by Blackned. And he clears it down ice. With just over 20 seconds remaining in the second minor penalty to Stephane Larocque. Tremblay ahead to Walser. Stolen by Hood. Hood has Payette 2-on-2. Hood to Payette. Cuts through the middle. And he's broken up there by Derek Walser. Still out on this Beauport power play. Montre through the middle of Cote. And he can't corral that pass. Back to the point to Walser. Walser with control. Keeps his feet moving ahead to Daze. Daze runs into his own player. Regroups in the neutral zone. Carries into the Halifax zone. Daze still with control. Centers it. Broken up by Larocque. Larocque ahead to Payette. Payette with control. And he dumps it into the far corner. Biron clears that one. Right on the stick of Mongrain. Partial breakaway. Biron clears it. Hood with control. Has an empty net. Doesn't see it. Tried to pass to Mongrain and he missed it. Johnson out for his first shift. Drills one on goal. And it hits a Beauport player. And here comes Cote for the Harfangs. Skates the center and dumps it in as Beauport goes for line changes. Chris Halverson and Mark Johnson was out for his first shift here for the young Mooseheads. Halverson. Pass broken up by McIntyre. Centered. Stolen there by Hood. Hood. His pass is broken up. Mongrain drills Bedard. McIntyre with control. 3-on-2 for the Harfang. McIntyre to Tremblay. Halverson throws it out of harm's way. Fast, quick, high-spirited action here end-to-end between Beauport and Halifax. Period 2 at the Marcel Bedard Arena. McIntyre drives the Halifax zone. Still with control of the puck. Halverson battles away with him. Angione gets the body on McIntyre. He falls to the ice. Cahoon battling away for the puck. Loose puck at the sideboard. Angione with control. Can't corral that. Now he comes up with it. Wind him up. Here he goes. Chris Angione stops. Shoots. And he just missed. Rebound. Cahoon. Shot. And it got through the goaltender but just missed the empty net. Bedard now with control. Down low for Pike. Pike for Cahoon. Cahoon centers it. Angione just missed the open puck. And we're going to get a minor penalty to the Beauport Harfangs. Christian Laflemme. Don, a great shift by the Nova Scotia line of Angione, Cahoon, and Pike.
The three Nova Scotia rookies have indeed had a great shift, and because of their play, there's a Beauport penalty being called by La Chapelle. Christian Laflemme, their all-star defenseman, will go to the box for 2 minutes and afford the Mooseheads a chance to get on the board at a critical time here. Just about halfway through the game, a goal now would be a great one. Drapeau and Blackned and Larocque come over the boards along with Shelley and Dumoulin. Shelley will be parked in front of Biron.
Cleared down ice, however, by Belanger, and that'll force Blackned and Dumoulin to regroup. It'll be Dumoulin who controls the puck for Halifax, the quarterback on the power play. Nice back pass to Drapeau. Drapeau ahead to Larocque. Larocque gains center and dumps it in as he's hit hard by Etier. LaRue with control, throws it off the skate of his own player, Etier. Etier goes back to pounce on the loose puck. Larocque battles away with him. Puck's at the sideboards, and they all battle him and get an early whistle. And they take a late punch at Larocque, and we'll see if we get a penalty on this play. No call on this play. And Don, whoever would have thought when this was all starting, as you mentioned in your interview 11 months ago, that we'd be in Game 7, live in Beauport, and we'd have 5 Nova Scotians on the ice at one time, as we just had with Cahoon, Angione, Pike, Mark Johnson, and Chris Halverson.
11 months ago, Chris, Clem Jodouin, Sean McKenzie, and I sat in a small conference room at Moosehead Breweries with some lists, some paper, and a telephone. We hadn't had a player at that point. We started the process to build a hockey club that Harold McKay ensured was going to play in the Quebec Junior League. And 11 months later, here we are in Game 7 in Beauport.
Broken up by Montre. Onto the stick of Giguère. Still over a minute left in his power play attempt for the Mooseheads. Giguère, long lead pass for Shelley. Medor dumps it back in on Giguère again, and once again he'll play the puck. This time for Dumoulin. Dumoulin skates out to the left of Giguère. Dumoulin heads up ice and will head right up with him. Mario Dumoulin over the blue line. Mario Dumoulin with LaBranche. LaBranche bangs him to the ice. Puck on the stick of Montre. And that hits the referee's skate and bounces all the way down the ice. Halifax will change their power play unit here. Still desperately trying to get themselves on the scoreboard. LaRock sees some open ice. Skates into the Harfang zone. Nice dispatch for Moo. Shot, and he didn't miss by much. Anoya with control. Down low for Moo. Anoya again. Then broken up by Belanger. And clear one more time down the ice. 30 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Christian Laflamme. Quebec Major Junior Hockey League second team All-Star defenseman. His opposing number 23, Chris Payton with control. Payton to Brown and ahead to Anoya. Anoya ahead to Moo. 2-on-1 break for the Mooseheads. Kept in nicely by Anoya. Offside, however, is the call.
Beauport, Chris, are a very active hockey club when they're killing a penalty. That is, they don't use a passive box and let you set up in their zone. And when you do set up, they don't sit back and play a passive box. They play a very active box. They force the play constantly at all points on the ice surface. When a team does that, you've got to have quick puck movement to break their positioning down and to create a situation where you outnumber them. So far tonight, their penalty killing has been excellent. They've been very active in it, and they've been forcing us not to get in a situation where we outnumber them in the offensive zone.
Brown drills the puck on goal. Biron plays it for Theriault. Theriault with control. He fans in the shot, but got a break as it did clear the Halifax zone. Payton back to set up again for the Mooseheads. Back at even strength. Payette ahead to Payton. Pass now ahead to Hood. Hood gets it ahead. Payton tried to dump it in. Broken up by Montre. Pucks at the sideboards for Payette, and the Harfangs are going to go to the penalty box again. This time for high sticking. And Halifax on another power play, and they're bound to break one open here in the power play. And all they need is a goal here to get themselves some momentum.
Got some action down on the other end. Big Eric Daze, Chris Payton. Having some words. Daze now jawing at another Moosehead. I still think it's Payton. That's a David and Goliath battle. Daze at 6'4", Payton at about 5'11". The officials are in. Nothing's going to come of this. But the Harfangs do have a high sticking penalty to serve. And we've got to get on the board, Chris, soon. And this is as good a chance as any for the power play to make good on a chance. As a result of that little skirmish, we're going to have additional minors. Eric Montre and Chris Payton are also going off. Payton, normally one of the point men for the Mooseheads on the power play.
Chris Payton, 37 points on the power play this year for the Mooseheads, their second leading scorer on the power play. Over the boards comes Jody Shelley, the 6'3", 190-pound native of Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Played last year midget AA hockey in Yarmouth, and here he is live tonight at the Marcel Bedard Arena with the Halifax Mooseheads. He's joined by Rocco Anoya, who leads all Moosehead scorers with 4 goals in this year's playoffs. What a great time it would be for old Rocco to score goal number 5.
Nicky Mahu once again will center this line. Dumoulin, Jamie Brown on the points as the Mooseheads go on the power play with 10:04 left. We're at the midway point in this hockey game.
LaBranche with control, he drives it down ice, and Giguère is forced to play another one. Once again, it's Mario Dumoulin who will set up the power play attempt for the Mooseheads. This time ahead to Jamie Brown, who replaces Payton on this power play. Mayu with control, nice pass ahead to Anoya. Anoya can't corral it, it goes into the corner. LaBranche and Belanger battle away with Anoya and Mahu. Dumoulin keeps it in, goes cross ice to Brown. Brownie down the slot, shot! And it hit a body in front of the net, kept in by Dumoulin, shot! And that hit another stick. And McIntyre has control. 2 great scoring opportunities for the Mooseheads. Both hit players in front of the net. Lots of traffic in front of goaltender Biron. Here comes Dumoulin. Back up ice. Through to the blue line. Hooked up by Tremblay. And that forces Mahu to go offside.
2 chances originating at the point there, Chris. Jamie Brown and Mario Dumoulin getting shots on goal. Jamie shot rising high on Biron, deflecting into the corner. The puck coming back around to Dumoulin. Shot then hit a skate in front of a crowded slot area. As a result of the offside, the face-off will be just outside the Beauport goal line. And here you see Jamie Brown's shot. A rising shot that got the left shoulder of Biron and then went into the corner. Etienne Drapeau with Blacknett and Larocque, the forward line for the Mooseheads.
Face-off won by the Harfangs. Puck's at the blue line and cleared down the ice by Etienne. Tremblay will be the first player on that puck, and that'll force Giguère to play it. Giguère does so along the sideboards to captain Brant Blacknett. Blacknett with control. Rube, a good job of holding up Tremblay, giving Blacknett some ice. Pass ahead to Larocque and now Drapeau, but he just leaves it there for Beauport, and they clear it back on to Jean-Sébastien Giguère. Beauport does a good job of holding the line on the power play, Don, and the key for Halifax is to try and gain the Beauport zone and set up some concerted attack.
Beauport doing an excellent job. They've got Martin Anche and Steve Medor out there, and these guys really play the line well, close the gap, and force the play at the blue line.
Drapeau again with control. His pass out of the reach of Larocque. Icing is waved off. Etienne has control though, and he'll send it back down the ice. Mark Johnson out for another shift for the Mooseheads in the line of Cahoon, Angioni, and Pike out for the last 15 seconds of this power play. Johnson ahead to Cahoon. Cahoon stops, waits for an option. Tried to throw it ahead to Angioni. And icing will be the call. The faceoff will go deep in the Halifax zone with only 5 seconds remaining in the Moosehead power play attempt.
Clem's using the whole bench now, Sean. The Angioni line out again. And Mark Johnson and Chris Halverson on defense. So the whole bench is seeing action here right now, hoping to get something started with our first goal.
Chris Angioni and Downey is as good a bet as anyone to break one open here at this great speed. Cahoon right to Johnson off the face-off. Johnson with control and some open ice as we go back to even strength. He waits for the Mooseheads to set up, takes it to the right of goaltender Giguère and goes cross-ice to Angioni, who had wound it up but fell. Cahoon pounces on a loose puck. 3-on-3 break for the Mooseheads. Cahoon gains center. Angioni picks up that puck. Cahoon drives it on net. Biron makes a save and wisely covers in as Cahoon pokes away at the loose puck. That'll give us a face-off in the Beauport zone.
Derek Pike having some words with the Beauport forward. And now Chris Cahoon and Ian McIntyre in the corner, just exchanging a few words. Nothing's going to come of it. Face-off will remain in the Beauport zone to the right of Martin Biron. We've got 7:45 remaining to play in period number 2. 4-0 Beauport lead. Eric Hood's line with Payette. And Steve Mongrain, who has been a big player in this series in the games he's played. Halverson and Johnson on the points as Eric Hood takes the draw against Mark Chouinard.
Johnson at the point. He drilled one and Biron just got his glove on it. McIntyre now with control. Skates behind the Beauport net and dangerously out in front of his own net. Now he leads a 3-on-2 Harfang rush. McIntyre with control. Tried to cut by Johnson. Johnson rides him out of the plane, comes up with the puck. Good play there by Mark Johnson to join the rush. Can't corral a loose puck. Puts it right on the stick of LaBranche. His shot is blocked there by Mongrain. Up in the air, now Chouinard with control. Provencher to McIntyre. Provencher, McIntyre, and Chouinard out here for the Harfangs. And Halifax Mooseheads, Chris Halverson is going to get a holding penalty as he held up Mark Chouinard, who was skating towards a loose puck, and it's going to be tough to come back short-handed here, Don.
No question about it. The Harfangs going on the power play. Halverson taking a minor for holding. The face-off will be deep in the Moosehead zone. Nick Mahu and Rocco Anoya will be out to kill the penalty, along with Chris Payton and Mario Dumoulin. No surprise with the lineup for Beauport. Montre, Cote, and Daze up front. Walser and Tremblay on the point.
Cote and Dumoulin battle behind the Moosehead goal. Dumoulin gets it to Daze. Montre with a puck, quick shot. Fired wide. Yannick Tremblay now, the talented Beauport defenseman to the point to Walser. His shot tipped by Montre, wide of the net. Daze with control for the Harfangs. Centers. And Tremblay up on the rush one more time, has his shot go wide. Daze sideboards for Walser. top of the slot, quick snapshot, that missed. And it's cleared down ice, where Rocco Anoia will be the first player on this puck, and that'll force Biron to play it. Biron plays it ahead to Tremblay. Tremblay with control. Tried to pass it through the middle, but it's broken up by Mailloux. Anoia hits Tremblay. Walser pounces on the loose puck. Cross ice to Daze. Through the middle to Montre. And down to the far corner of the Marcel Bedard Arena, the puck goes. Payton and Cote battle away. Cote gets it to Daze. Daze to the point to Walser. Puck bounces on Walser, so he goes cross ice to Tremblay. Slides it behind the net to Montre, and Payton will come up with that loose puck and fire it down the ice. Oh, Moosehead players looking for a line change here. Tired on this penalty kill attempt. 42 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Chris Halverson as Giguère throws it off the glass. It goes by LaRue. It's picked up nicely by Shelley. Ahead to Blacknet. Blacknet can't corral it. Laflemme with control. Gains the Halifax zone. Doesn't take the puck with him. That would be a prerequisite, so Tremblay has to go again. Tremblay to LaRue. LaRue to Swinar. Swinar one-on-one with Payton, who's caught out here on a lengthy shift. To the point to Laflemme. Laflemme, cross ice, Etier, all kinds of time to shoot. He does. Giguère with a save. LaRue back to Etier, another shot. Giguère with a save, and this time he covers up with only 5 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Chris Halverson. Good job here by the Mooseheads killing this penalty. They certainly haven't given up.
Martin Etier had 2 good chances to shoot the puck from the blue line. The first one, and this may be it coming up right here, changes directions and Giguère gets it. You can see the shot, hits the Harfang forward, goes off of Giguère, and then hits the mesh at the side of the post. The puck comes right back, around again to Etier. He steps in, Giguère sees it all the way and holds on to force the face-off to his left, with the penalty about to expire in a matter of 5 seconds. Tremblay waved out, Belanger comes in for the draw.
Etier still out for the Harfangs. Sideboards for Tremblay, centered to Belanger. Good chance, but Giguère holds his ground. Belanger still with control. Now a chance for Tremblay, and Johnny bar the door one more time. Jean-Sébastien Giguère makes yet another save.
Belanger and Derek Pike having some words again. Tempers may be getting a little frayed about this time. The Mooseheads have killed the penalty to Halverson successfully. Teams are back at even strength, and Chris, you alluded. Here's the power of the replay there. As you see Tremblay in, took a backhand shot, then took the liberty of giving a little extra whack. And Berube and the other Mooseheads take exception when anybody does that to Jean-Sébastien Giguère, and that caused a few words of exchange. However, everything is peaceful on the face-off to the left of Giguère. With 5 minutes left, and Chris, you alluded that there's no quit, and there certainly won't be. Malhoun, Tate, Dumoulin, and the rest of the Mooseheads will not quit here this evening, and there's a lot of hockey left to be played.
And Gioni on a loose puck. Off the sideboards, kept in there by the Harfangs. Tremblay, weak shot on goal. And Jean-Sébastien Giguère covers up one more time, and we'll try that face-off again. To his left in the Halifax zone, Chris Cahoon, the 6'3", 180-pound native of Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, out for the face-off.
See Derek Pike and Ian McIntyre having some words. I wouldn't suggest that we see an altercation there. Ian McIntyre, although he doesn't go looking for it, is one of the toughest kids in this league without any question whatsoever.
And Derek Pike probably isn't done.
Derek's not known for his pugilistic efforts, but he is a very important part of this hockey club, and I think Derek's best actions tonight will be to stick to hockey and leave Mr. McIntyre alone.
Yeah, Derek Pike 1-0 in fisticuffs this year thus far, but he's going to the bench, and we get a line change here for the Mooseheads. They send out Mongrain, Payette, and Hood. Don, 2 players, Payette and Hood, who weren't with the Mooseheads at the start of this season.
No, we acquired here. You see the replay, and again, young Tremblay down in front. You know, Chris, especially on the Beauport power plays, you can call that area in front of Giguère the Armdale Rotary because there's so much traffic in front of them. You could call it the Armdale Rotary tonight.
So we got Dumoulin with the puck behind the Armdale Rotary. He's heading down the St. Margaret's Bay Road, and he gets it ahead over the stick of Payette. Mongrain in for the hit on Tremblay. He missed. Payette drilled Yannick Tremblay. Now Vincent Tremblay ahead to Bedard, picked up nicely by Mongrain. Mongrain broken up there by McIntyre. Dumoulin with control. McIntyre in with the late hit. Puck bounces over Medore's stick. Hood gives chase. Hood tied up by Tremblay. Medore ahead to Vincent Tremblay. Now Louis Bedard, 2-on-2 with Jean-Yves Leroux. Bedard ridden out of the play nicely by Payette. And Leroux drills Mongrain to the ice, but he gets up and keeps going. Tremblay with a shot. Now Montre, the Harfangs applying some pressure on the Mooseheads here. Halverson spins behind the net. Leroux tried to center to Daze. It would have been dangerous. It didn't get through. Giguère forced to go back and play the puck himself, taking his own liberty of trying to alleviate some of this immense pressure on the Mooseheads here late in period 2. Tremblay with control. His shot goes wide. Dumoulin chases with Tremblay. And finally, Hood throws it off the glass. It's not out, though. Kept in by Leroux. Daze, shot! It hit the stick of Dumoulin and went up over the glass as Eric Daze wound up the big slapper from about 45 feet out on Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
Two of the most talented forwards in this league are Eric Daze and Jean-Yves Leroux, and they've been playing together tonight, and when they're on the ice together, they create a lot of havoc for the Mooseheads, and they control the puck well in the zone that time. The shifts are changing, and on comes Etienne Drapeau with Blacknett and Larocque. Marc Chouinard and Cote, along with Jimmy Provencher, will line up against this line.
Brant Blacknett, Halifax's leading scorer throughout the regular season, 45 goals and 97 points. And you witnessed many of those goals and points on our home ice at the Halifax Metro Centre. It'll be a nice time for him to pot one here at the Marcel Bedard Arena. Might possibly have the best shot down in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Here comes Beauport, 3-on-1. Provencher's shot, save Giguère.
Another big save by Jean-Sébastien. Jimmy Provencher broke in 3-on-1. He elected to take the shot himself. As you can see, the Moosehead defenseman did a fine job in taking away the passing lane. That's Chris Payton, the Newfoundland native, did a fine job, made sure that Provencher could not make the pass across the slot area, and let Giguère play the shooter, which he did as he usually does, magnificently.
Battle behind the net, Blacknett and Drapeau. Drapeau comes up with the puck, winds it up. Nice play to Louis Chouinard, and nice pass ahead to Payton. Payton to Larocque. Larocque, quick shot. Blocker saved by Biron, and the puck goes to the sideboard. Kept in there by Bay-Roubaix. Drapeau in the battle for it. Etienne and Larocque push and shove, but Cote has the puck at the sideboards. Blacknett applies some pressure and allows Drapeau to keep it in. Blacknett with control. To Drapeau, top of the slot, shot! And the save is made by Biron as Berube keeps it in. The Mooseheads applying some nice pressure here at the end of this lengthy shift, and the puck goes up over the glass. The face-off will go inside the Beauport end. Good shift there by the Halifax Mooseheads.
Etienne Drapeau, the young rookie, getting a chance to shoot the puck from the slot area. Not a great shot gotten off by Drapeau in that instance, but nevertheless a shot on Biron, who really hasn't had a lot of high-quality shots come his way so far in these first two periods. And to get on the scoreboard, we're going to have to penetrate even more and get some more high-quality chances than we've gotten so far with 2:21 left in the second period.
Point. Dumoulin, shot, doesn't get through. Once again, it hits White, the White of the Harfangs. Tremblay ahead to McIntyre. McIntyre to Belanger. Belanger back to Tremblay. 3-on-3 rush. Tremblay trips on the puck. Falls with the puck into the sideboards. Once again, we'll get a face-off. This time it'll come outside the Halifax zone.
Joe Canale has said in the papers here in Quebec that he's more concerned about his team. He was not worried about our hockey club. He was concerned about how his players would respond, and he did mention the leadership he was looking for from the overage players. And one guy who has stepped up his game tonight compared to the other games in the series is Vincent Tremblay. He hasn't scored, but he's been a factor and has been on the prowl all night in the offensive zone.
Dumoulin with control of the puck. On to the stick of Medore. Medore with control for the Harfangs. Medore ahead where Payton breaks it up. Puck brought into the Halifax zone by Mailloux, therefore no icing. Peyton to Dumoulin to Peyton to Anoya. Anoya dumps it into Biron. Biron plays it. Almost broken up nicely by Peyton. Dumoulin pinches ahead. Cahoon throws it off Tremblay. And that puck is gloved ahead. Halifax going 4 lines deep now. Obviously they're tired and battered and weary as they fought away through this series, but they're still not out of it. Packed solid here at the Marcel Bedard Arena. Don, as we mentioned, a lot of talk about this series. We were in a cab today, of course, as we drove to the early morning press conference, and the cab driver himself was more aware of the series than a lot of people back home.
I was really surprised, Chris. There was a French-Canadian cab driver who spoke very good English and was more than willing to speak with us about the series, and he knew everything about the 200 fans coming here this evening from Halifax. He knew about the broadcast back to the Halifax Forum, and he knew what's gone on in the series in the past. So there's been a lot of press, a lot of talk about this series here in Beauport and the Quebec City region in particular. Little gathering in the corner as referee Luc Lachapelle signifies a penalty. The original call was against the Harfangs. And Chris Cahoon picked up a roughing call after the initial call was made to negate power play. And so we'll have 4 skaters aside. Actually, we'll have a full complement as the penalties, the minors will cancel. The roughing penalty to the Harfangs and Cahoon's roughing penalty.
So Halifax nullifies what would have been a power play attempt here late in period 2. Just over 1 minute to play in the period as Montre pounces on the loose puck and tried to center it through, broken up nicely by Jamie Brown. He battles with LaRue, and Daze is down and hurt in the corner, and that'll force a whistle and certainly some concern on the part of the Beauport Harfang faithful.
We've got 1 minute remaining in period number 2. Live from the Marcel Bedard Arena, a 4-0 Beauport lead in game number 7. And Eric Daze, you can see Jamie Brown tussling with him in the corner, and I think that the other stick, it wasn't Brown's, but the other Moosehead player's stick got up a little bit and may have cut him in the mouth area. Referee Lachapelle waving the face-off outside the zone as Daze compelled the play to be stopped. Therefore, the face-off comes outside, and Chouinard lines up against Eric Hood.
Puck dumped into the Beauport end as Mongrain and Cote have words. Etier with control, Payette forechecks. Etier carries to his forehand and tries to make a pass, broken up nicely by Jamie Brown. He's drilled from behind, and that'll result in a much-deserved minor penalty to Martin Etier as he just drilled Jamie Brown from behind and done. Jamie Brown has had a good game here tonight for the Mooseheads.
Jamie Brown, the Sackville native, not big in stature, but his play speaks for itself. He's had a great season. Here you see Etier coming up, taking the shot at Jamie as he turned away in the neutral zone. And for that effort, Etier will sit in the box for checking from behind. And Chris, you're dead on when you mentioned the play of Jamie Brown. The diminutive defenseman from Sackville has had a great first season in the Quebec Junior League with our Mooseheads. And in Game 6, he was one of the game stars, the epic at the Metro Center. And tonight at the Marcel Bedard, he's still playing a very strong game as Mahu goes for the draw.
Dumoulin gets it on goal, loose puck there, backhander, and Biron makes a save on Jody Shelley. Best chance for the Mooseheads this period thus far. 34 seconds left in period 2, and the Mooseheads on a power play.
Again, Chris, winning the draw is so important, especially at the end of a period. You saw the draw was won by Hood to the wall, then back to the point where the shot originated, and Biron forced to make the save and freeze the puck.
The U wins the draw. Peyton tried to backhand it to the point. He couldn't. Shelley with another chance. Shot! Biron didn't know he had it, but he did. And we get more pushing and shoving. A gathering in front of the Beauport net. They call this a Kaylee in Cape Breton down. I don't think it's a Kaylee here. Anoya and Mador set to drop the gloves. and square off. Here they go behind the net. Medor and Noya. As you see on your screen, Rocco Anoya and Stefan Medor, the Beauport captain. Either one gets free, and Anoya throws him to the ice. Anoya has Medor down, he drills him there. So finally done this tense 10-7 game series. Getting a little more intense as Rocco Anoya and Stefan Medor square off for an old-fashioned burn dance.
Well, we'll give the decision to Rocco. Not an epic battle, but he did force Captain Medor from the Harfangs to the ice. With 28 seconds remaining, they'll go to the room to serve their majors for fighting, which we can assume Luc LaChapelle is going to dish out at this time. Ian McIntyre is going to join Medor.
I think there was an original penalty. I don't know what'll come of all this now that we had that scramble. But originally there was a penalty on the play.
Here you see Anoya and Medor ready to go. Rocco's waiting. He just wants to make sure Medor is going to join him. He's not going to dance alone, and once he was sure, off go the gloves. Rocco, a strong lad, wrestling with Medor behind the net. You can see Luc LaChapelle explaining to Joe Canali at the Beauport bench just exactly what the situation is. Joe nodding his head, so he might be kind of pleased. He comes across the ice, talking with Brant Blackned, but he's going to come right over and speak with Clem.
Somehow the Mooseheads got 2 extra minutes in that whole scram. They announced 5 minutes for Batu, 5 minutes for fighting to Medor and to Anoya. Jody Shelley somehow drew a 4-minute minor for roughing, and Ian McIntyre only 2 minutes for roughing. So once again, a Halifax power play is nullified, and we'll play 4-on-4.
It's difficult, Chris. The announcements here are in French only, so we can't pick them all up. But it's obvious that we're going to be 4 aside for 1 minute and 47 seconds. And then, as you mentioned, our power play being nullified, 13 seconds will be shorthanded. So basically, 4 skaters aside for the final 28 seconds of period number 2.
Tremblay with control of the puck for the Harfangs. He skates to center and dumps it into the left of goaltender Jaguar. Montre right on that. Dumoulin, who's been on the ice all night for the Moosehead, breaks it up and gets it ahead to Mayu. Mayu skates into the Harfang zone and dumps it into the corner. 9 seconds left to play in period 2. Tremblay with control. He's hit hard by Peyton, who's up on the rush. He battles with Montre, centered, and the buzzer goes to end period 2 here at the Marcel Bedard Arena, with the Harfangs leading 4-0. 20 minutes of play left here live from the Marcel Bedard Arena. 4-0 from the Harfangs, but the Mooseheads are still battling hard. They're far from out of this game, and we'll go to a short break, and we'll be right back with our own Don Matheson. He'll have a forum with Halifax sports writers Craig Meister and Monty Moser, and they'll talk about the Mooseheads season thus far. Then we'll have an interview with John Graham, who is the owner of the new Moncton franchise in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So at the Halifax Forum, go on up to the bar, get yourself a Moosehead product, and join us for the interviews and the third period. So at the Halifax Forum, go on up to the bar, get yourself a Moosehead product, and join us for the interviews and the third period. Goes to end period 2 here at the Marcel Bedard Arena, with the Harfangs leading 4-0. 20 minutes of play left here live from the Marcel Bedard Arena. 4-0 from the Harfangs, but the Mooseheads are still battling hard. They're far from out of this game, and we'll go to a short break, and we'll be right back with our own Don Matheson. He'll have a forum with Halifax sports writers Craig Meister and Monty Moser, and they'll talk about the Mooseheads season thus far. Then I'll have an interview with John Graham, who is the owner of the new Moncton franchise in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So at the Halifax Forum, go on up to the bar, get yourself a Moosehead product, and join us for the interviews and the third period.
At the end of 2 periods of play, we have a 4-0 lead for the Beauport Harfangs in Game 7 from the Marcel Bedard Arena. Joining me now are 2 gentlemen who have chronicled the exploits of this young expansion hockey club throughout the season, from day 1 in training camp in Campbellton to Game 7 here in Beauport, Quebec. On my left, Monty Mosier from the Halifax Herald, and on my right, Craig Meester from the the Daily News. First of all, Monty, as I said, you've been with the club and following the club and chronicling their exploits since training camp. Some reflections from you about this season.
Well, I don't think I would have expected in August to be here on the 1st of April, that's for sure. This has been an incredible run, I think, for this team. I don't know. I think they just ran out of gas tonight, but it's been a tremendous accomplishment, I think, just to get here. I think the way I'll want to say it is that, heart can only take you so far. I think the best talent's going to win, maybe not the most dedicated team, but I think the best heart, took them a long way.
Craig, your thoughts?
Well, I think what surprises me is the way the team has caught on in Halifax, especially given the problems with American Hockey League there. I know last year in training camp that I certainly didn't expect the team to be embraced by the fans the way they have been. And that in itself, that there are 200 people here from Halifax tonight, we can talk about their on-ice success that there's a Game 7, but that 200 people came up here, it's bodes well for the future if they can build on that. And
Monty, it's been a long season, beginning back around the middle of August in Campbellton. Making the playoffs was a goal the team had set from the outset, and this series certainly has had a little bit of everything in it. Some comments on this series?
Well, I think at some point Beauport had to explode. It's tough that it happens in Game 7, I guess, for the Halifax fans, but you're not going to hold that kind of talent down forever. Giguère took them a long way. Determination took them a long way. But at some point, Eric Daze has to score some goals. Jimmy Provencher has to score some goals. Laflamme, if he's healthy, has to be a force in a hockey game. Halifax cannot match that team in talent, in finesse, even in size, in physical play. All that got them here was system, dedication, good coaching, and Jean-Sébastien Giguère. And at some point, it had to bottom out. It just happened that it was tonight. And it was going to happen. It's as I say, it's just kind of too bad that to create all these hopes and get this far, and then the gas tank ran dry tonight. But hey, what can you say? You get this far, energize a city. These guys should be proud. They're not going to feel that way when this is over. They wanted a better result for sure, and it's not over yet for sure. But certainly Beauport is showing that they're a Memorial Cup contender. We knew that coming in. Canale's a good coach. They got great talent. It's just coming out tonight, and however this one ends up, Beauport's got a very good team, and at some point it was going to show.
Craig, your thoughts on the series?
well, I think at some point Eric Daze had to break loose. I mean, he was leading the team in goals all along, but tonight you talked about two big goals, and that's the game right there. Daze with a power play goal at 17-minute mark of the first, and then he comes up with a shorthanded goal at 19 minutes. It's 2-0, 36 seconds into the second period, bang, another goal Beauport. It's 3-0, and that's pretty well game over by the looks of things. But we have 20 minutes left here. We'll see what happens. They got on the team early tonight, and with a team like Beauport, you really can only hold them down for so long. Halifax, full credit. They have a great team concept. They gave it everything they have. I counted them out in 5 games, so maybe I better not count them out before the start of this third period. We'll wait and see what happens.
Remind me not to check with you in any pools in the future, Craig. And I want to remind both you gentlemen, this game is far from over. But Craig, something happening in Halifax on Thursday evening was kind of remarkable. Game 6, sold out Metro Center. Many of those fans are watching tonight at the Halifax Forum. Your comment on the events of Game 6?
Well, the first thing I have to say to that is I covered 2 AHL teams in the past, and I covered them when they died, the Nova Scotia Oilers, as well as the Halifax Citadels. When I heard about Quebec Major Junior Hockey Team this year, I was a little worried how it would go over. The fans have embraced them. They've taken them right to their heart. And the future of this team, if a good draft this summer, if they can replace a couple key guys they're going to lose, Brant Blacknett and Jean-Sébastien Giguère, the sky's the limit. What happened Thursday night, that sellout, and actually more than a sellout because they hit 96.50, which is an all-time high for hockey in Halifax in that building. And what prefaces that was going back to Game 4, when you got that standing ovation, a spontaneous standing ovation, with 1:18 left during a Beauport timeout. And a lot of people giving Halifax fans, Metro fans, Nova Scotia fans perhaps, a hard time for not supporting teams. And You can't say that anymore, not with this team.
You mentioned Brent Blacknegg, Craig, and you're exactly right. He's been our high scorer all year, but we should point out that Jean-Sébastien Giguère is going to be around for 2 more years in Halifax.
Well, sorry, what I meant to say is that Mario Dumoulin is the one we have to look out for. Although the way Giguère has played in this series, who would be surprised to see him move on next year? And I'm sure his ranking, he's ranked, at the moment, he's ranked 3rd for the NHL draft, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him move up among goalies. Biron was ranked number 1. He's played well, but Giguère has played better.
You know, Monty, a lot's been said about the fans in Halifax. There are many of them tonight at the Halifax Forum. Hopefully, we're going to see a good third period. But what we saw in Halifax on Thursday evening was absolutely incredible. And a lot's been chronicled in the papers and the dailies, both dailies, about the fans in Halifax and with the past sports teams. Our fans this year, our whole organization just can't say enough about them.
Well, it's amazing. I was in there last year when they had 9,200 for the Washington game when Washington was in against the Rangers. Yeah, roughly the same amount of people, but the noise, the enthusiasm wasn't the same. I think what sealed it for me this year, Donnie, was that in the years that I was involved with the American Hockey League in Halifax, you could go a month without somebody making a relevant comment about a roster move, about what another team was doing in the league. You operated in a vacuum. The fan interest wasn't consistent. It wasn't there. Now you can find yourself in a discussion on the street with somebody debating whether Giguère is better than Biron, or if the checking system works against Daze, or how do you handle Laflamme? Should Derek Walser be in there? All of a sudden you've got a whole network of people who understand the Beauport Harfangs when maybe last year they'd never even heard of them. So people understand this league. They want this league. They believe in it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's got a healthy future. I don't see any other way to look at it.
Well, Monty and Craig, thanks to both of you. 2 of our local dailies, the Daily News and the Halifax Herald, Monty Mosier and Craig Meester, have given us fair and accurate coverage all year. Thanks to both of you. In just one moment now, we're going to turn things back to the control and the play-by-play of period number 3, Beauport leading 4-0. Back to Chris Strickey in the play-by-play in just one moment.
Hello, Halifax Forum, and welcome back to the Marcel Bedard Arena for the 3rd period of this 7th and deciding game between the Halifax Mooseheads and the Beauport Harfangs. Beauport currently leading this game by a score of 4-0, scoring 2 goals in both the first and second period, but the Mooseheads never say die attitude, which they've carried throughout the playoffs, will be tantamount here in period 3 if they are to draw even with the Harfangs. We're set for the 3rd period of play, and we'll start this period 4-on-4 for about 1 minute and 33 seconds. Double minor penalty at the end of the period to Jody Shelley, as Beauport was serving their own minor penalty, and so we'll only have about a 13-minute cushion when we're not at 4-on-4. So some open ice and an opportunity for the Mooseheads to try and break one open here early in this game. Donnie, what it boils down to is basically 1 goal every 5 minutes for the Mooseheads, and if you look at it that way, you're not looking for a lot, but it won't be easy against a talented Harfang team who have played very well thus far in tonight's game, but anything is possible, and as we said, the Mooseheads have proved that true all season long, as has you, the fans back at the Halifax Forum, who are, I'm sure, cheering very loudly for our Mooseheads. And let's just try and get 1 goal, and we'll liven this place up, and we'll take it from there.
Well, Chris, one thing for sure, there's no quit in our hockey club. They're down 4-0. Beauport are playing extremely well. We've got to give them full marks. They're playing very well here this evening, but we've still got 20 minutes to play, and our guys are going to play it hard. We've got to get one early, Chris, if we're going to have a realistic chance.
So Halifax will start off here with Hood and Mayu, two of their quicker players. Payton and Dumoulin, as always, on defense on this 4-on-4 break. Chris Payton, the native of St. John's, Newfoundland, and certainly Don, the team comedian on the Halifax Mooseheads.
Quite a personality, quite a hockey player.
Pounces on a loose puck and skates into the Beauport zone with Mayu. Dumps it into the corner, forcing Biron to play the puck there. He leaves it for Boulanger, and it goes cross ice to Laflamme. Laflamme back to Boulanger. Boulanger goes wide on Payton into the corner. He's hit by Payton behind the net. Hood pounces on the loose puck. 3-on-2 rush up ice. Hood ahead to Mayu. Mayu to Dumoulin, and the Harfangs will draw an early penalty here in the third period. Don, this will give Halifax a chance 4-on-3 on the power play, and that certainly will bode well for the Mooseheads. Lots of open ice and a good opportunity here to break one open early. Halifax certainly will be looking to shoot the puck more here in period 3.
We'll see the reason right here in the replay. Jean-Yves Leroux gets the foot out on Eric Hood, and he's gone to the box for tripping.
You see the Beauport penalty box, very small, Don. 5 guys, certainly capacity over there across the ice from our gondola here in the arena.
The face-off is going to be to the left of Martin Biron. We've played 33 seconds in period number 3. There will be a 4-on-3 situation. Drapeau, Blackned, Larocque, and Dumoulin for the Mooseheads against 3 Beauport Harfangs.
4 very talented Mooseheads on the ice as they try and pump one by Biron. Dumoulin with a shot, and Biron steers it to the sideboards. Montre bangs away with Larocque, kept in nicely by Dumoulin. Draws the center, cross ice to Blackned, shot, and Biron snags that with the crapper.
Brent Blackned has a great shot, but when Martin Biron sees a shot coming from the blue line from that distance, normally he's going to stop it. He saw this one all the way, got the glove out just in time as Blackned lets a rocket goal from the right point.
So once again, Don, the face-off will be crucial here for the Halifax Mooseheads. 29 seconds remaining in the first Beauport penalty, 19-10 remaining here in period 3. If they can win this face-off, another chance to set up their 4-on-3 power play.
Again, Drapeau will try to draw the puck to Blackned on the right side.
Tremblay, however, the overage Beauport centerman, wins the draw, clears it down ice, and wastes some precious seconds off the first Beauport penalty. Larocque with control, turns it up in the neutral zone. Dumps it in on Biron. Biron plays it and throws it back down ice. That'll all but kill off the first minor penalty for the Harfangs, and we'll go to 4-on-4.
Another example there, Chris, of the way both young goaltenders handle the puck. Martin Biron clearing the puck that time on his own, just as Jean-Sébastien Giguère does on many occasions.
Point for Dumoulin. Dumoulin puts it on goal. Drapeau doesn't see it at his feet. Tremblay comes up with it. Can't corral it. Now he does. He throws it up and past the reach of Dumoulin as Angioni steps back on the ice. The Mooseheads on a minute power play. Angioni through to center ice. Angioni turns it up and dumps it in on Biron. Biron leaves it there for Yannick Tremblay. Mooseheads on a line change. And this will allow Beauport to clear the puck down ice again. Halifax time for one more rush on this third period power play. Just over 18 minutes left to play in the third period. Dumoulin has been on the ice for all of the third period thus far. Daze bangs it down ice. He's hit to the ice by Angioni. Giguère leaves it there for Payton. Payton with control. Payton ahead to his forehand. Now up ahead to Mayu. Mayu's pass to Dumoulin. Dumoulin pounces on that loose puck. Skates by LeBranche. Puck's on the sideboards. Mayu bangs away as well. Comes up with it. He has Payton in the slot, but the puck sticks in some wet ice here, and that's cleared all the way out over the glass with just 9 seconds remaining in the Beauport minor.
We've played 2 minutes and 25 seconds of period number 3. Beauport maintaining their 4-0 lead. The face-off coming up will occur to the left of Martin Biron. The Mooseheads send out Chris Cahoon at center with Mongray on one wing and Daniel Payette on the other. Sebastian Berube and Jamie Brown will be on the points. Things are all even up as the teams play full strength with 17:35 remaining in the third period.
So Chris Cahoon to take the face-off here for Halifax. Face-off won by Beauport. It goes to Proventure, and he clears it off the stick of Jamie Brown. Brown corrals it in the neutral zone. They're going to rule that was a high stick and bring the face-off all the way down into the Halifax zone.
In actual fact, Chris, I mentioned that we were full strength. Canali had 5 skaters out there, but had to take one off as there still remains but 2 seconds in the Beauport penalty. And that will then put the teams at full strength. The face-off coming back to the right of Giguère. Both teams making some changes.
Donald McLean replacing Eric Montre at center for Beauport. The face-off here against Eric Hood. Hood wins the draw to the sideboards to Sebastien Beyroube. We're back to even strength. Beyroube ahead to Payette. Payette to Mongrain. Mongrain leaves it for Hood. Hood turns and wheels with the puck. Now Mongrain has control, but now it's picked up there by Yannick Tremblay. LeBranche. LeBranche to McIntyre, doesn't see it. Gets a break as the puck goes back on his stick. Backhand pass through the neutral zone. McLean drives on Beyroube. Beyroube sends him to the ice. Back to LeBranche. Playing a lot of this third period in the neutral zone. Tremblay ahead to McLean, and he didn't see it. Icing is waved off, so Giguère plays it for Payton. Chris Payton skates out in front of his own net. He's hauled to the ice. No penalty on the play. Beyroube in with McLean. Throws it on the glove of Tremblay. He keeps it in for McLean, drops it for McIntyre to Tremblay. Shot, blocked, and here goes Hood. Hood down the middle of the ice. 2-on-1 with Mongrain. He leaves it for Mongrain. Nice play by Tremblay to break it up. Mongrain tried to center it to Payton, and Biron gets the pad on it. And Don, that's an example of the Mooseheads who are certainly weary and tired. Eric Hood, normally a fast skater, but he's certainly down in weight after suffering the flu. Just couldn't outskate the Harfang.
The tanks are not empty, Chris, but they're on the red mark. As Steve Mongrain goes into the corner and tries to center the puck to Chris Payton, who jumped up into the play along with Eric Hood. And the effort is there, but the tanks are low, Chris. There's no question about it.
Certainly one goal here early for the Mooseheads would add some fuel to those takes, Don. As the puck goes to the sideboards, it's played there by Jean-Yves Leroux. Over to Louis Bedard, and now it's picked up by Yannick Tremblay. Drapeau gives chase. Opposing number 9s. Pass to Leroux's double shifting, and that's ruled offside.
Jean-Yves Leroux, once again, there you see him. An excellent hockey player, the draft choice of the Chicago Blackhawks. The 6'2", 200-pound left winger. An 18-year-old player. He'll be returning to the Harfang next year. And he joins line mates Tremblay at center and Bedard on the right side.
Mario Dumoulin finds some open ice as he does so well and dumps it in behind Biron. It'll be kept in by big Stéphane Larocque. Larocque behind the net for Blacknett. Blacknett with control. Blacknett's hit there by Etier. Ahead to Leroux. Leroux has Bedard. Broken up by Larocque. Dumped back into the Harfang zone. Blacknett gives chase. Etier with control. Etier head to Bedard. Bedard has trouble with that pass, but comes up with it. Louis Bedard, the former Val d'Or Foyer, was traded to Beauport. Here, about Christmas of this season. With control in the slot, shot, save Giguère, rebound. And it's thrown up over the net, over the glass, and the faceoff will go outside the Halifax zone. Johnny Sebastian Giguère with a nice save there on Louis Bedard.
There you see the Moosehead goaltender. Some action in front as Vincent Tremblay had the puck roll off his stick. Came back out in front for Louis Bedard, and his shot is stopped by Giguère. Vincent Tremblay takes a whack at the rebound again. It hits Giguère and goes out of play. Face-off outside the Mooseheads blue line.
Mark Johnson chases the puck back in the corner, stops behind Giguère and gets it ahead to Payette. Picked up there by Mailloux. Mailloux to Beyroube, up on the play with Pike. Beyroube centers for Pike, broken up by LeBranche. Rims it around the sideboards, kept in by Mark Johnson. Johnson, Shelley now with control, puts it on net. Beyroube has some time, Pike with a shot, doesn't see it. Beyroube a loose puck and a good chance for the Mooseheads. Sebastian Beyroube had a loose puck and goaltender Biron down and out, but couldn't corral it for a shot. It's picked up now by LeBranche. Montre with control. Halverson ahead for Pike, just out of Pike's reach. Tremblay stops and throws it off the sideboards for Montre on a partial breakaway. He's got Halverson beat, but he can't beat Giguère. Puck goes behind the net to Daze. Daze's hit by Brown, still on his feet. Centers through, broken up by Hood. Eric Could drops for Brown. Jamie Brown up on the rush. Through to center. Dumps it in. Payette pounces on the loose puck. Brown's in with him. Picked up there by Hood. Pass to Brown. Shot. Score! Eric Hood has the Mooseheads on the board and the fans on their feet at Marcel Bedard Arena. The Mooseheads are not done yet.
Sebastian Berube carried that puck into the zone and would not give up on it. Danny Payette throws it out in front off the Harfang player. There's the pass to Hood. He comes back off of Biron, and I think it was Eric Hood who batted it in.
Eric Hood on a nice play with Jamie Brown, who got it back to Hood. He banged it up over Biron's shoulder. Makes some noise at the forearm. The Mooseheads are on the board. Eric Hood with his second goal of the playoffs. He had 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in only 2 games thus far. He's got 3 points in 3 games now, and he'll be looking for more. Tremblay drives into the Halifax zone. Payton on him. Hood with control. He's got Mongrain. Hood ahead to Mongrain. Stevie Mongrain through the center and back to Hood. McIntyre forced to turn. Mongrain gives chase. Broken up nicely by Payton. Kept in the Harfang zone. Now McLean gets it ahead to Provencher. Dumoulin lines him up. Provencher, Dumoulin. Dumoulin doesn't get the puck in. Medor centers it. Dumoulin retreats for the Mooseheads. Stops behind Jaguar. Skates out with some open ice. Nice pass ahead to Drapeau. Full head of steam. Pass just out of his reach. Biron plays it to Bedard. Now it's Tremblay coming in on Berube. Belanger held up nicely by Blackned. Johnson back pass. Belanger with control. Johnson and Blackned bang away for it. Blackned comes up with it and throws it down ice. Icing will be the call. 13:22, Don, still a play here in period 3.
Lots of time left in the third period, a 4-1 hockey game. If this game becomes 4-2, within the next few minutes, you're going to have a heck of a finish in the final 10 minutes of this third period. But the key for the hockey club right now would be to press this team in their zone again, and let's try to get that second one, because if you get that second one, Chris, you pull within 2, with 10 minutes or so left in the third period, they're going to be a heck of a finish.
Certainly will be, as Belanger gets it to Etier at the point. Shot goes wide. Larocque plays it off the boards. Ahead to Blackned. Blackned to Drapeau. 2-on-1 with Johnson. And the puck bounces out of his reach. Some good scoring chances here in period 3 for the Mooseheads. Berube on top of a loose puck. Drives into the Beauport zone. Quick shot. Big rebound there. But Etier has control of that. Larocque bangs him to the ice. And then bangs away with Belanger. Drapeau in to help out. And Luc LaChapelle blows the whistle. Give a face-off in the Halifax zone.
Stéphane Larocque gave a little two-hander, and it was only a little two-hander to Martin Anche. He went down like he was shot out of a cannon, but he seems fine, and nothing becomes of that little incident. The face-off is going to be inside the Beauport blue line. Just outside the top of the circle to the left of Biron.
Martin Etier embellishing that slash from Larocque a little bit, but did not result in a minor penalty. So the Mooseheads send out Mayu, Anoya, and Shelley with Payton and Dumoulin. Cote with the puck sideboards, kept it nicely by Payton. Shot on goal, rebound, Shelley bangs away. Rocco Anoya on it. He's got a defenseman up in the rush. Centers Dumoulin, shot! Oh, and a save by Biron. Biron looked behind him, a great chance for Dumoulin.
That was a heck of a chance, Chris is right. The pass came off the wall to the left of Biron. Mario Dumoulin and the Moosehead D are stepping up into the play, looking for exactly this kind of opportunity. You can see the play developing. Here comes the puck from Jody Shelley right out, and Dumoulin point blank. Biron forced to make the big save. That's the kind of opportunity the Mooseheads are going to be looking for. Here
Dumoulin
comes another one.
Shot! Oh, and Anoya couldn't get the stick onto this. Dumoulin's shot went wide. Payton's forced to regroup for the Mooseheads.
Since that goal, Chris, the Mooseheads have been pressing and have opened up a little bit. Getting a couple more shots on. Here they come again.
But by Payton. Payton, shot. Biron forced to cover up again. The Moosehead defenseman, Don, joining the rush, and it's creating some good scoring chances as the Mooseheads have picked things up here in the third period.
Particularly Dumoulin and Payton, but also Sebastian Berube in the last couple of shifts have demonstrated a willingness to jump into the play on offense. And here's Chris Payton. Short wrist shot at Biron. And getting that fourth man on the attack is opening the play up, taking some risks, but down 4-1 with 12 minutes and 13 seconds remaining is exactly what they've got to do at this point in the game.
Dumoulin and Payton still on the ice. Assistant coach Sean McKenzie likes to play his two top defensemen against this line of Montre, Leroux, and Daze. Don, very important that he has that matchup.
Sean makes every effort to make sure that Dumoulin and Payton are on the ice against the Daze line. Daze's a big guy with all kinds of skill. And these are perhaps the two most mobile, most gifted skaters on the Moosehead blue line. Consequently, they'll draw the assignment to play against Eric Daze when he's on the ice. Both Dumoulin and Payton have been mainstays on this blue line.
Beauport wins that face-off. Leroux with control. Leroux skates through his own zone. Checked there by Payette. Giveaway picked up by Etier. Now Dumoulin with control. Dumoulin tried to back pass it ahead to Payette. He gets the puck back and he skates to center. Wide through the Beauport zone, broken up by Daze. Shot in on the stick of Payette in the face-off will come all the way down in the Halifax zone. And this will give Halifax a chance to make a line change and send out their line of Drapeau, Larock, Blacknet, along with Beauport and Jamie Brown.
Chris, we want to say hello again to everybody at the Halifax Forum, and on behalf of the hockey club, thank them for coming out to see this game this evening, to see this broadcast. And we want to say hello to a member of our office staff, Matt McKnight, who along with Norm Trudeau, our administrative assistant, are in the crowd at the Halifax Forum this evening. So
yes.
Hello to Matt and Norm.
Yeah, we say hello to them and all you fans that keep cheering. We're not done yet. And a special hello to one of our younger fans who I know is at the Forum tonight, Kenny McKenzie, the son of assistant coach Sean McKenzie. Kenny, your dad said to say hello, and he's right down here below us, and he's trying to bring his Mooseheads back in this game for you. So keep cheering, and good things will come. As Tremblay and Brown is up on the rush battle away. Stolen by Blacknet. Blacknet centers it. Drapeau bangs away. Larocque's in on it, but Cote comes up with it. Throws it right on the stick of Drapeau. Cuts to center. Brown, slap shot, and it hit a Beauport player. Went up with another good chance, and another play where the Halifax defensemen have joined the rush and created a scoring opportunity.
Chris, I'm going to tell you, I've seen stranger things happen, but if we get a goal within the next minute or two, and we go into the last 10 minutes in a 4-2 hockey game, anything can happen. We've got this club back on their heels a little bit now, pressing in the offensive zone, and another goal, who knows?
Mayu, Anoya, and Shelley for the Mooseheads with Halverson and Beauport. Off the face-off, Halverson battles away with Etier. Beauport in, and he drills McIntyre and keeps the puck in. Anoya throws it behind the net. Shelley, first one on it, centered it. He had Mayu, but it didn't get through. Mayu has Anoya. Oh, and Biron makes a good play to stop that pass from going through to Rocco Anoya. A couple opportunities here tonight, Don, where there's been Moosehead players all alone in front of the net, in particular here in this third period.
Some aggressive forechecking there. That puck was going to come out of the zone, but Sebastian Beauport stepped up from the blue line and rocked Ian McIntyre along the wall, kept the puck in. Jody Shelley picked it up in the corner and was trying to get it in front to Anoya, who was waiting unguarded just off the doorstep of Martin Biron. The face-off is going to be to Biron's right. We have 10 minutes and 59 seconds remaining to be played in the third period. Shelley, Anoya, Mahu up front. And Dumoulin and Payton on the blue line.
Payton throws it through center. There's no one there, so Dumoulin is forced to regroup. Now in his own end with control of the puck. Ahead and off the stick of Shelley to Theriault. Theriault and Shelley battle. McIntyre now with control for Beauport. Beauport down. Center. Daze couldn't pull the trigger, looking for the hat trick. Dumoulin rides Daze out of harm's way. McIntyre at the sideboards. Montre bangs it home. Now Anoya. Anoya head to Mahu. Mahu turns it up. Dumps it into the Beauport zone. Jody Shelley gives chase with Theriault, who hasn't played much tonight. Scramble. The sideboards. Anoya keeps it there and holds on for a face-off. 10-20 left to play in period 1-3.
Once again on the rush, as the Mooseheads cross that line, you can see that two guys are going into forecheck as quickly as they can. Beauport, however, Chris, one of the hockey clubs in this league that does the best job of running interference and holding guys up. They're a big team physically, and when they get the stick in front of you to hold you up, to give their defensemen some time, they're usually quite effective at it.
Throws it through center. Payette. Payette and Payton with Mongrain, Hood, and Dumoulin. Tremblay up on the rush again, but it goes right on the stick of Chris Payton. He dumps it back in behind Biron. Biron with control leaves it for Medor. Payette with floor checking. Medor throws it off the sideboards. Dumoulin keeps it in. He's got a man open in front. Trouble getting it through to him. Hood bangs away for it, and Biron makes the save.
Well, Eric Hood felt, well, maybe I can knock Medor's stick out of his hand and pick the puck up that way. He took the shot at Medor's stick. It fell, but he was not able to come up with the puck. And we will once again have a face-off deep in the Beauport end of the rink. And we've got Beauport's answer to Mike Cowie strutting his stuff near the Beauport bench, or near the Moosehead bench. But I think it's safe to say, Chris, that it's a poor imitation.
Certainly is a poor imitation of Mike Cowie. Sean McKenzie pointing out to the referee that there's a balloon on the ice, Don.
Eric Hood
on the ice.
Eric Hood's about to line up with Payette and Mongrain, Dumoulin and Payton on the point, Vincent Tremblay on the draw against Eric Hood.
Hood wins the draw and throws it to the sideboards where Payton ties up his man Proventure, and the whistle goes, and we'll try this face-off one more time. Just under 10 minutes now to play here in the third period.
With half a period remaining, the Mooseheads continue to press for that important second goal, and it couldn't come at a better time, Chris, than right about now.
No, I don't disagree there. Don, be a heck of a time to score the second goal in today's game from the Moosehead point of view.
Well, we've got the guys who have scored coming on the ice. Etienne Drapeau will be between Blacknut and Larocque. Dumoulin and Payton remain on the offensive points. Eric Montrey will take the face-off.
LaRue comes up with the pucks. Payton got tripped by Proventure on the play, and he goes 2-on-1 with Montrey. They both skate for the puck, and it's tipped out nicely by Mario Dumoulin. Martin now with control of the New York Ranger draft pick ahead to Proventure, the New Jersey Devils draft pick. LaRue with control, and he's a Chicago Blackhawks draft pick. There's 4 NHL draft picks on the ice for the Harfangs, Don, and that just says a little about the talent the Beauport Harfangs have.
Very talented club. They're making changes on the fly, and guys like LaRue leave the ice, and over the boards comes big Eric Daze.
Larocque, shot! Biron doesn't know where it is, and he just got a piece of it as it was between his knees.
He had a little trouble with that one. It was between his legs. He did stop it, and again brings the face-off to his left. 9 minutes and 9 seconds remaining to be played in the third period. Beauport leading 4-1 as Nicholas Mahou, along with Jody Shelley and Rocco Anoya, will play up front. Mark Johnson and Sebastian Berube will man the defense.
Well, it's 11 o'clock in Nova Scotia, and you're live at the Halifax Forum watching the Beauport Harfangs and your Halifax Mooseheads in the 7th and deciding game here at Marcel Bedard Arena. Off the face-off, Mahou to Johnson. Cote bangs it past Anoya. Shelley's tripped, and the puck goes to Daze, throws it right off the ref. Kept in there by Johnson, quick shot! Loose puck in the slot, and Beauport just managed to bang that out of harm's way. Cote down with Tremblay. Cote cuts the center, leaves it for Daze. Great save, Giguère. Another save on Cote's shot, and Giguère covers up. Good chances in both ends there, Don.
That was a great save by Giguère again on Eric Daze as Patrick Cote coasted into the zone and looked for the big fella who's got 2 goals already this evening. Cote was looking, he found him. You'll see the play develop here. Cote drops the puck. Daze, no hesitation, a quick shot, and Giguère with the pad save, and then freezes the puck to force the face-off to his right with 8 minutes and 46 seconds remaining to be played in this third period. There you see the rather poor Mike Cowie impersonator.
Off the face-off, we have Belanger and Hood set to do battle. The puck goes all the way across the ice where Danielle Payette is the first one to reach it. He throws it through to center. Stefan Medor with control. Terrio, he dumps it into Jaguar. Jaguar gloves it, leaves it for Dumoulin. Decides to cover up as McIntyre was streaking hard on the play.
This face-off again will be deep in the Moosehead zone to the right of Jean-Sebastien Jaguar. Eric Belanger, their 17-year-old center for Beauport, will face off.
Quick shot off the draw. It's kept in by Etier. Etier throws it right ahead. Dumoulin comes up with a good chance here for Beauport. Bedard can't corral that loose puck. Certainly not one of Beauport's more skilled players is Louis Bedard. Puck comes to McIntyre. Shot, and it goes off Dumoulin. Dumoulin battles away. Hood comes up with it. Skates through the neutral zone. Now it goes ahead to Payette. Tried to get it back to Hood. Stolen by Belanger. Payton with control. 8:08 left to play in 33. Mongrain to Payton. Keeps his feet moving. Gets it ahead to Dumoulin. Stripped by Belanger. Dumps and changes. Payton with control to Harfang on a line change. Mongrain now with control. Mongrain dumps it through the neutral zone. Hit hard by LaRue. Puck dumped into the Beauport zone. Icing is waved off, and Halifax now goes for a line change. Provencher skates by Larocque. Larocque ties him up, and Brown comes up with the puck. Now it's Larocque behind his own goal. Larocque through the neutral zone. Larocque ahead to Brown. Brown, nice play to keep his feet moving. Get it to Blacknet to Larocque in there with Etienne Drapeau. Larocque drives toward the net. Loose puck. Sideboard for Brown. Centers it. He had Blacknet. It just went over Blacknet's glove. Halverson down low for Blacknet. Now it goes to Drapeau. Moosehead's applying some pressure. Blacknet to Larocque to Brown. Through again behind the net for Blacknet. LaRue throws it through center. Jamie Brown, last guy back for the Mooseheads. Dumps it back in. Larocque looks to change. Dump down the ice. Icing will be the call.
With 6:54 remaining to play in the third period and a 4-1 Beauport lead, this faceoff's coming back to the Beauport zone to the right of Biron. Nicky Mahu, Rocco Inoyan, Jody Shelley coming over the boards for the Mooseheads. They'll be joined by Payton and Dumoulin on the point. Just under 7 minutes to play in the final period. Beauport clinging to a 4-1 lead.
There you get a look at color commentator Don Matheson.
And our perch up here, Chris, as you can see, is kind of crowded, but it's the best seat in the house for us.
Certainly is. Be a better seat, Don, if the Mooseheads could pop one here, as Mario Dumoulin is going to take this face off for Halifax. Tremblay with control, kept in nicely by Payton. Goes ahead to Cote. Cote drilled by Dumoulin with a hip check. Tremblay now with control behind the net. Picked up there by Mahou. And the net is off its moorings, and thus the whistle.
That's Patrick Cote talking with Mario Dumoulin. Cote, their most aggressive player, along with Joel Theriault. Willing to combat just about most any time. Continues to jaw, this time with Jody Shelley. Cote, of course, the player that was involved in the fight with Steve Mongrain last week in Halifax. And as he goes off and the Mooseheads make changes, Eric Hood, Mongrain, and Payette will form the forward line. Belanger, McIntyre, and Bedard for Beauport.
Payton with control. Pass ahead to Payette. Mongrain pounces on the loose puck and drives into the Beauport zone. Right by Bedard, centers it. Hood for the loose puck, but Biron covers that one up.
Stevie Mongrain driving deep down his wrong wing. Tries to put the puck out in front to Hood, and Biron corrals it. And again, forces a face-off with 6:21 remaining in period number 3. And here you can see Mongrain trying to throw it out. And like all good goaltenders, Biron is very conscious of those pucks coming out the short side. with his goal stick positioned properly, and he was ready to take that loose puck and hold it for the faceoff, which is exactly what he did with 6:21 remaining.
Oh, Payette almost pounced on the loose puck, but Yannick Tremblay came up with it and centered it to McIntyre. McIntyre 2-on-1 with Montre. McIntyre to Montre. That goes wide. Now McIntyre with control behind the net. Tremblay, sideboards. Behind the net again. McIntyre tried to center. Dumoulin bounds it off the boards. It's picked up there by Eric Montre. Montre cuts and dumps wide again for McIntyre. McIntyre to Tremblay, his shot hit Dumoulin. Payton comes up with it. Sideboards where Payette's in to help out. He bangs away with McIntyre, and we get another whistle with 5:42 left to play here in the third period. Don, very safe to say that the Halifax Mooseheads certainly haven't folded their tent here in the third period. They've probably been the best team on the ice in this period.
There's no question they're winning this period, Chris. It's their best period of the evening. You can tell by their faces coming off they're a tired hockey club, but there's absolutely no doubt that they're also a game hockey club, and they're going to play this one right to the last face-off. But they are a tired group of hockey players, but there's no quit in them, and I know our fans will be very proud of the effort they're putting forth now with 5:42 remaining in period number 3.
Daze keeps it in at the Moosehead line, goes for the sideboard pass to Tremblay. Picked up there by Berube, but Daze's in the check. Daze again with control. He dumps it over the stick of Mark Johnson, and it goes in the corner to Berube, but that's offside. Safe to say, Don, that Eric Daze, when he really wants to, can turn it up and almost dominate this game.
Well, as you know, at the end of the second period, Chris, both Monty Mosier and Craig Meister made comments about Daze going to break out. He broke out tonight with the first 2 goals of the game. One on the power play, and then that one shorthanded that came on a bad break for the Mooseheads. And he put his team up 2-0, and he's been a constant threat all evening. He has been their best hockey player this evening.
Johnson ahead to Blackned. Blackned dumps it in. It takes a bounce. Biron covers up. And there's going to be a penalty to the Harfangs and a face-off in the Halifax zone as Leroux tripped Larocque on the play.
Rather uncharacteristic of Jean-Yves Leroux, Chris. I like this guy as a hockey player. He's a very good left winger for this club and plays the game tough, but plays it clean for the most part. And as I say, this is a little uncharacteristic for Leroux. But he's picking up a minor here, which will put us in the power play with 5:10 remaining in period number 3. And Clem sends Nicholas Mahu over the boards to center ice. Rocco Anoya is on one wing, Jody Shelley's on the other. Blackned and who else? Mario will be on the left point. Jody Shelley will take up residence in front of Biron if we can get control of this puck, which we do.
Blackned shot! He didn't miss by much. Biron got the shoulder on it. Brad Blackned unleashed a cannon from the point. Biron made the save.
We have our players coming over, getting a few words from Clem. Now we have Stéphane Larocque, Blackned, and Mahu out there.
Along with Mario the Magnificent, who has the puck now. He goes cross ice to Larocque. Larocque to the middle to Dumoulin. Just throws it on goal. Loose puck there from Mahu. He tried to go to Larocque, but Larocque couldn't pull the trigger. Larocque with control. Dumoulin at the point. Shot! And Biron made the save. He throws it through the neutral zone, but there's a Harfang down and hurt, and that'll draw a whistle. I believe that's Stéphane Medor. It is the Beauport captain.
He was involved in front of the net, Chris. I didn't see exactly what happened. Let's take a look at the replay. You can see Medor in front of the net with Anoya. No. It is Anoya. Down he
hit
goes.
with the shot.
Yeah, he got hit with the shot by all appearances. He's still down. The trainer for Beauport is on the ice taking a look at him. This will give Clem a chance to talk to the guys for a few moments while Stéphane Medor receives some attention. 4:51 remaining to play in the third period. 1 minute, 41 seconds remaining in the Beauport penalty. Once again, Nicholas Mahu will go to center ice to take the draw. And by all appearances, he's going to be taking the draw against Vincent Tremblay. Dumoulin waits at the point, and he has the puck.
Cross ice for Larocque. He drilled it, but it went off a player in front of the net, and Blacknet has control. Mooseheads will have to try and keep that puck low, Don, as they shoot it on goal with that much traffic in front of the goal. Giguère leaves it there for Mario Dumoulin. Dumoulin with control. Pass ahead just out of the reach of Payet. Dump back in. Giguère sets it up again. And again, it's Dumoulin back for control of the puck. He leaves it for Blacknet. Decides to take it himself. Surveys his options and goes to Blacknet. He goes cross ice, but Mailloux can't corral that, and the Mooseheads are forced to regroup one more time. Blacknet and Dumoulin still out there. Almost seems that Mario Dumoulin hasn't been off the ice this period, Don.
And he carries the puck through the neutral zone.
Blacknet battles away at the sideboards with LeBranch. Belanger is able to clear that puck down the ice as the Mooseheads run a long shift and got outworked at the sideboards. Fatigue setting in. Larocque with control of the puck. Stephane Larocque. Now it's Payton. Beauport has the puck in the Halifax zone. Here comes Jody Shelley. Shelley ahead, Derek. And it's dumped in by Payton. No one on that side of the ice as the Mooseheads run a line change. Belanger just dumps it down the ice. That'll all but kill off the minor penalty to Jean-Yves Leroux. Nice pass from Giguère ahead to Payton. Here comes Payton. Drives it behind the net. Biron can't catch up with it. Jody Shelley and McIntyre bang away for the loose puck. We're back to even strength. 3:07 left to play in the third period, and the whistle goes.
Mario Dumoulin, without any question, has logged more ice time in this series than any other player, with the exception, of course, of Giguère and Biron. And he has been steady as a rock and a true all-star in his performance for the Halifax Mooseheads. Dumoulin will be finishing his junior career, likely here tonight in Beauport, Chris, but he will undoubtedly have a pro tryout next year, and I fully expect that Mario Dumoulin will play pro hockey. Timeout being called now.
Well, timeout for Halifax. 3:04 left to play in the third period, and they haven't given up, Don, but you certainly have to feel for the Halifax team who have given their hearts and souls to this series, and in particular for the four overagers whose career will be ending.
And we're getting some action in the crowd now. Chris, there's a minor scuffle to our right. There are some Halifax fans there.
Not a very friendly arena in that regard. Security running over. Too bad the people at the Forum couldn't run here to help the Halifax fans, but they seem to be making out all right.
They're making out just fine, Chris. Quite a contingent from Halifax here tonight. Terrific fans, just like the fans we have at the Halifax Forum. And I think things are settling down, hopefully, in the stands. What has been a great series, Chris. We don't need anything to complicate matters in game number 7, because this has been a terrific series. And I think things are settling down. Referee LaChapelle having a look at the proceedings. He wants to get the game underway and has motioned the players to the circle to the left of Martin Biron. And in this jam-packed arena, a lot of fans are standing in the area where the altercation has arisen. Security people are there, but I think cooler heads have prevailed, and we're going to get back to hockey. The face-off will be to the right of Martin Biron. With 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining to be played, Mahu, Larocque, and Halifax has pulled the goaltender, going with 6 attackers. With 3:04 left, there's no quit in the hockey club. 6 attackers for the Mooseheads.
Well, Don, like they say, I'd rather die like a lion than be slaughtered like a sheep, and the Halifax Mooseheads are going to die like a lion if they're going to die here tonight.
Our old friend Dave Allison, who coaches the PEI Senators, was quoted as saying that, Chris, and that's in evidence here as Nicky Mahu, Rocco Inoya, Stéphane Larac, Jody Shelley, Brent Blackned, and Mario Dumoulin form the 6 attackers that are 5 up with just Blackned back at the top of the circle for the face-off to Biron's left with 2:55 remaining. And the puck is poked out over the line, and Blackned goes back and corrals it and dumps it right back in. Everybody tags up. Well, almost everybody. Linesman Bernier saw something no one else did. Well, they're calling it an icing. They're saying that the puck was iced. It wasn't over the red line when it was dumped in by Blackned. Giguère forced, of course, to go back and occupy the goal. With 2:46 remaining, we have 5 attackers now, obviously. Face off to the right of Giguère.
Giguère back in for the Mooseheads as the face-off was in the Halifax zone. Puck at the sideboards picked up by Larac. Larac will look to gain the Beauport zone so Giguère can leave his net again. Dumoulin at the sideboards, through center and ahead to Larac, and there goes Giguère to the bench. Larac, quick shot, big rebound, but Medora comes up with it. His backhander is off the glass and corralled by Blackned in the neutral zone. Dump back into the Beauport zone where Biron plays it for Etier. Etier with control off the boards and out. Dumoulin has to give chase as the puck goes towards an empty net.
2 minutes and 15 seconds remain, Chris. Period number 3 as the play gets a little scrambly. Giguère on the bench again, and Dumoulin goes back, retreats behind his old goal as Mahu swings to the corner, and Dumoulin starts out to Blackned, who gives it to Larac, and it's going to go into the Beauport zone, and a flood of red sweaters go in. The puck is centered, and Biron grabs it and forces the face-off with 1:51 to play in period number 3. Again, Jean-Sebastian's on the bench in favor of the extra attacker, and the Mooseheads have 6 skaters not saying anything but play hard in these last couple of minutes in game number 7.
We'll have to take this last opportunity, Don, while we have the chance to thank those fabulous fans in Halifax, and in particular those of you who are watching us live at the Halifax Forum, for the support you've given our hockey team all season long. It has certainly been greatly appreciated, and the fans here, the Halifax fans in attendance, have given a standing ovation to the Halifax Mooseheads. Well deserved, and I'm sure you're doing the same live at the Forum as there's more scuffling here in the Beauport Arena. I just saw them escort a fan out, and it's the same person I saw escorted out of this arena on Tuesday, Don.
Well, Chris, I'll tell you, the Halifax fans are on their feet. They've got a Nova Scotia flag, and they're sending their guys off in this third period with a big ovation. They are certainly outnumbered here in Beauport. You can see that Nova Scotia flag just beyond the face-off area as Drapeau lines up and wins the draw back. Dumoulin steps up, but the puck bounces out. And who else but Eric Daze picks it up and misses the open net. The puck just gone wide. Montry takes his shot at it, and the Mooseheads corral it.
Here come the Mooseheads as they enter the Beauport zone. Mongrain picks up the puck, but that's a 2-line pass.
Chris, you were mentioning the organization a moment ago, and one thing that was evident from day one, we had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Harold McKay at the end of the first period, but from our ownership on down, we've been supported. I know the hockey players feel this way very strongly, that and the whole staff does, that our ownership, Mr. McKay, Mr. Gwyn Timothy, Mr. Farquhar, Mr. Rennie, Mr. Just, Mr. Young, and Mr. Russell, of course, and all the other owners, the advisory board have given tremendous support to the hockey club. But I also want to mention, Chris, and it's as good a time as any right now, that our coaching staff, Clem Jaudoin and Sean McKenzie, have done an absolutely outstanding job with this hockey club all season long. To take this team to 7 games that we're playing tonight is a testament to the effort of every single player and the coaching staff.
I think, Don, that of all the many, many splendid moves that Harold McKay made with the hockey team, I'm sure possibly his best move was hiring Clem Jaudoin, Sean McKenzie, and I would say, without hesitation, I'm sure you might possibly agree that this is arguably the best junior coaching tandem in the country to do what they've done with our Halifax Mooseheads this year.
That could be argued quite easily.
Martin Biron sends the puck down the ice, and He's about 3 inches away from scoring a goal for the Harfangs. Daze's going to finish off the hat trick here, but Dumoulin comes up with a save on the shot from the slot from Daze into the empty net. Mario Dumoulin playing goaltender.
Big Daze shaking his head, and the fans are on their feet, the players are on their feet, that Beauport bench. But I look down below us, Chris, and our guys don't have a thing to hang their heads about. They've given it everything they can, and they played to the bitter end here in Beauport this evening. And I know our fans are very, very proud of our hockey club. Every single guy in that team gave a heck of an effort tonight. Giguère's back in goal. The face-off is to his right. We have 47 seconds remaining with a 4-1 Beauport lead. Mooseheads win the draw, but the puck ends up back at the point. There's the point shot by LeBranch. And there's the 5th Beauport goal. After the point shot,
Jean-Yves Leroux banged that one home for Beauport.
Daze around there again, and Jean-Yves Leroux picks up his first goal. Here you see the shot coming from the point from LeBranch. Big screen set up in front of Giguère. Jean-Yves Leroux pounces on the loose puck and throws it over a fallen Giguère.
Well, John Sebastian Giguère has been a lion for the Mooseheads all season long, and particularly in this playoffs. He's seen his draft stock rise drastically for the upcoming NHL entry draft. Whichever of the 26 NHL teams choose to draft him, and they'll do so very early, will get themselves a heck of a goaltender and a heck of a character player, Don.
He's a fine, fine goaltender and a fine young man, and he's going to go in the first or second and quite possibly the first round of this year's National League Draft.
He's going to make $1 million at this game, and it'll be well deserved. He's a hell of a talent for the Halifax Mooseheads. Blackned now with control with under 30 seconds left to play in this game. Blackned with a full head of steam gets it ahead to LaRock. They bang away for the puck. It's behind the net. Blackned and Walser bang away. Rocco Lanoya comes up with it to the point to Sebastien Berube. Berube down low, but it's picked up by Walser. He throws it down on goal, and Giguère will stop it there. And that will end this game and this series as the Beauport Harfangs pick up a 5-1 victory and the win in this playoff series.
And Clem Jaudoin put his 4 overage players on the ice to finish the game. All 4, along with Rocco Anoya, finished the game. Clement Shaw now making their way across the ice to shake hands with Joe Canali, the Beauport coach. Beauport players, full marks, Chris, for their victory tonight. It's a fine, fine hockey club. Very talented hockey club, Chris, and they'll move on to the round-robin section of the Quebec League playoffs. As our Mooseheads line up to shake hands, nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever and everything to be proud of. What a first season. And they meet at center ice and congratulate the Beauport Hockey Club.
Once again, we thank all of you back home.